Let's get the show on the road. Hey, Chetty82, how you doing? Good to see you this evening. I figured I'm gonna play some more Farm Expert. I might as well stream a little bit tonight. Let's see, get the scene going. See if I can get that up there. Alright, resume. I've been actually playing quite a bit, but it takes a long time to harvest the greenhouses, and I didn't want to bore you to death by coming on a little bit earlier. One thing I did do though, I switched vehicles that I used to harvest. I'm actually finishing up this greenhouse and then I gotta sell off everything to this little tractor. It works a lot better in the greenhouses than that yellow electric jobber thing. So much much nicer than it's easier to control when things start bouncing around. Hey, the greenhouses is how I started and it's making me a ton of money. So I'm actually on the end of my second season. Just to see when it starts bouncing, at least I can drive the tractor a little bit and straighten it up. I'm on the middle of near the end of my second season in the game, and the greenhouses have been making me a ton. So I figured, what the heck? Uh, One thing I can tell you about the greenhouse is that if you plant cucumbers or tomatoes on the first day of the season, you can usually get two full harvests in 1 year. So I already did cucumbers, and then in June I planted the tomatoes, and I'm able to pick it because at September 31st is the end of the year. It actually rolls back over to April. Now they need to invest in some hydroponics. It would be nice if they had more involved detail, and it may come. One thing I could say about the game, yes, it is buggy as all get out, but I have never seen a dev team. There's one guy on the forums responding to pretty much almost every question that's asked. Thank you, Chetty82, for the host. This guy has been answering people's questions and very responsive, something that you're not used to if you with Farming Sim. I can tell you they're planning on an update to the game tomorrow. They posted in the forums under the bugs list, and I'm sure they're going to work out a lot of things, as well as they mentioned that the PDF file or text file or whatever they got going. Oh, come on. For the whatchamacallit, the world editor, they're going to release some information on how to use the world editor too, which is going to be interesting. The thing looks so complicated. I don't know if I could wrap my head around it. At least not right now. I'll keep taking looks in there and trying to figure things out, but man, there's so many options. Probably be able to do more in-depth stuff. But yeah, it's raining out. One of the bugs somebody mentioned is it's raining inside the greenhouse. I don't know if you could see that, but I'm not concerned with little things like that. That's one of those things that if it's not fixed and physics and everything get fixed, the game can be pretty decent. Yes, picking tomatoes is thrilling. I've been doing this now since, well, almost 2.5 hours picking tomatoes. So you put in work here to get things done, and it is like operating a whole season, which I like. You have to plant your crops and plan the harvest times and all that stuff. So far, all I have is orchards planted and the greenhouse is going, and I bought some animals. We'll take a look at those a little bit. That's what I'm saving up my money for right now, to get some more animals so we can take a look. It's not too bad. I mean, it's not Farming Simulator, but it's offering some different gameplay, and I'm actually enjoying it for now, doing some different things. So you'll notice it's easier to get through the greenhouse. I'm done. I can actually, when I unhook the trailer, it'll dump what's left, and then I'll hook it back up and drive out of here. And then I got to pick up all my crates in from 5 greenhouses. So that part's going to be fun to watch, I'm sure. Yeah, it's a little tough around the corners, but we can get this thing in and out of the greenhouse pretty easy. I'm becoming an expert at this. It's a heck of a lot easier than that little thing there. Oh yeah, and it's raining out, so you'll see anywhere when you drive off-road, we're putting sort of little ruts in the ground. You see that? That's pretty cool stuff. You can see it spitting up the dirt. We didn't get to see that yet on my stream because it's been all good weather. So there you go. Let's see, where did I park my other vehicle? Now somebody mentioned on one of the videos I watched that I'm getting out of this tractor here and you hear the door opening and closing sound. It's a kind of a generic thing, and it didn't bother me until they mentioned it because I didn't even notice. You hear a door close, but hey, now that they mentioned it, I'm like, yeah, it could stand to be fixed. Alright, somewhere around here. Oh, I know where I left it. I left it down at the shop. I think another thing, yeah, you gotta kind of find which one it is. It highlights on the map where the different tractors are, and that is the one I want, right? Nope, that's my mower. I don't want my mower. I thought that was the one. I guess it's this one. There we go. At the machine shop. Oh, another bug that drives me insane that just happened is whenever you save a game and reload it, if you have 2 trailers hooked together, you lose the back one. I'll have to mention that in the forums too. Those guys have been really good at responding to people's requests. We'll see what they fix on Monday. If they stay with it, if they stay with this game and continue to make it better and fix the bugs, it has some serious potential. At least for some fun gameplay. So off we go. I'm hauling, whoa, my 2 trailers. You can do farm work in the rain, yes, but it's going to be much more difficult because of the, well, I wouldn't say much more. I haven't even done any fields in the rain myself. Like I said, I only have orchards. But I know you can farm in the rain. It's just one of those things that you're going to, you can actually see the water. Let's see if I can find a vacant field around here to tear up a little bit and show you guys. There's one right over there. I mean, the water, you can see the reflection of the rain on the road, but you can actually see the water pool up on the fields. You see that? That's pretty cool stuff right there. Check that out when it's raining, and then when you drive on the fields, you're going to get some bigger ruts in the field. You can definitely, the tractor slides in the rain. I mean, it's not too shabby, but my orchard tractor handle, but you can see the water spitting up in the puddles and stuff. I wish the Byfield thing wasn't over the top of it. You can see water spitting up, so it's kind of cool stuff. And I just destroyed that field until it's plowed again. So you could literally do the field though in the rain. Tomcat60, thank you for the host. Oh, there's a fence there. Let's get back up to the top and pick up all my stuff with my little orchard tractor. But yeah, I like the way that the rain actually reflects and it puddles up on the fields. I thought that was pretty cool. So we're going to do a little bit of farming. We'll get some more animals. First I got to sell off all my greenhouse produce that I have, which is 5 greenhouses full of tomatoes. The first, if I plant cucumbers on the 1st of April, I can get 2 harvests of either cucumbers or tomatoes. Peppers take a little bit longer. Might be able to get peppers in. I'm going to try peppers at the beginning of next season and see what time is left. Tomcat 60 raid. Yeah, thank you for the viewers. Hey Amaki, I'm doing good. On my oh my gosh, I think I probably got about 40 hours into this game already. So I'm getting good at it. Although you couldn't tell by the way I'm driving. The roads are a little bit slipperier when it's raining, but it's not too bad. And they're working on the physics of the tractors so they're not as bouncy on roads. So we'll see on Monday when they release the update if that gets any better. But already seems like they did tweak it a little bit already. Alright, let's spin this sucker around. Ooh, not quite enough room. Come on, you can do it. You can do it! There we go. Because it's so much easier to load up the trailer if you're parked outside the greenhouse than running it all over the place. And I think this kind of hands-on thing is pretty cool. And I was thinking about it, if the UPK kit works in Farming Sim 17, I think, depending on, there's a couple variables. The UPK kit working and or the factory scripts working, and the ability to pick up items, how that's going to work in Farm Sim 17. If that works, we might be able to mod something and pull something like this off, believe it or not. Minus the cool picking vehicles, somebody else would have to do those. I am strong. WRT's in the house. Nice to see you guys. And KW. Doing good. So, one of the other things about we're finishing up, we're in September. Like I said, September 31st. It's the end of the year. And it goes right back to April. You don't have to remove all the crops at the end of the year. I found that out at the I don't think you do. It should delete at April 1st. Be ready for planting all over again. So we can put 24 crates on these trailers. And we have tons, so you're going to be watching me do this for a little while. But whoops, I always miss the doors. Because this is where the big money is, in the greenhouses. That's why it takes so darn long to do them. So that trailer's full. Now this would be super, and they are looking into the multiplayer issue. Hopefully they get that rectified, because this would be kind of cool if you had one guy actually loading these onto the trailer while you were picking. It would go a lot faster. And then somebody could be driving the trailers away. Manual labor. No, that's not a mistake. You actually got to work these farms. Which is part of the draw for me. I like actually... It's just stuff that's different. And I like the way the season runs. You have to plan everything ahead of time. Make sure you have all your fields done and everything before you speed up the time to the next month, or you're going to be losing everything. Yep, I filled all of these. I did it while I was offline. I harvested the greenhouses. You can see there's not a single tomato left on any of these plants. There's 5 greenhouses in all, and each one of them is going to yield over a cart, 24 crates. So we've got a lot of driving and selling off to do, and I should have a ton of money. When we're done. Come on. Sometimes the door doesn't slide fast enough to keep up with me. But yeah, greenhouses definitely make you some good cash if you put in the labor. Whoops. And sometimes you drop them on the ground instead of on the trailer. Two more for this load. Oak76, thank you for the follow. I realize that I'm not playing Farming Simulator 15, but Farm Expert isn't on the the list yet, so I have to put in some game, and I figure why not? I'm usually playing Farming Sim 17, and there's a lot of Farming Sim 17 people out there that are wondering about this game, whether or not they should invest their hard-earned cash into it. So I'm only going to be doing a couple more days of this stuff probably. We'll be back doing the map making stuff because I got a lot of things I want to get done before the release of Farming Sim 17 on the new map. But I'm having a ball hauling my tomatoes to the sell point. I've been down there so many times I don't even need to look at the map anymore. And I'm not rolling over the truck as much as I used to either. Yeah, they got to fix the bouncy trailers. That stuff's a little bit crazy. But I think you'll see that taken care of. Slowly but surely. I mean, it's these days there isn't a game that releases without bugs, and I'm sure Farming Sim 17 is going to have its share. But yeah, I think they released it a little too early, but if they keep on it, and like I said, they've been very active in the forums responding to literally almost everybody's questions individually or comments individually. I mentioned that my fertilizer spreader for the orchards wasn't taking fertilizer, but it would take the herbicide and insecticide, and the guy responded that he would check on that as soon as he got back. So they're cool. Yeah, I think that I don't even know how the sales are going in this game. I don't, they'll probably get it up there, but by the time they get it up there, I'll be done. So 37,000 per trailer load. We're gonna get lots of cash. I added the second trailer on there. That makes things a lot easier. You could do 3, but I figure with the physics the way they are now, I'm not gonna take my chances. I'll stick to 2. I'm able to get them around up there at the greenhouses too. You can put 5. Get them all down here in one load, but man. Yeah. I actually am kind of used to it. It does bounce around a little bit, but a lot actually. But I'm getting kind of used to it. It's the trailers right now that are doing most of the bouncing. When the trailers aren't attached, it doesn't seem half as bad. And it is working with my Farm Sim steering wheel, but the control panel doesn't work. Oh. You've got the mud effects all over the map whenever you go off the road. And this is a small tractor made for greenhouses. This is not by Giants. This is actually by another group. I don't know actually what the publisher is. It's on Steam. This is a whole... They've had Farm Expert 16 has been out, but now it's part of the Playway group, which is responsible for a lot of simulators that suck. But I played Farm Expert 16, and the tractors weren't bumpy like this. This has to have something to do with the new ground terrain and stuff, physics, because it wasn't here last year. But I'm back for another load. So we got one full load out of this greenhouse already. And all I did was tomatoes everywhere. I've got 5 greenhouses of tomatoes, so stick with me. We'll get through them. Then we'll get some animals. I already have some goats and some ducks and some chickens and some sheep. I don't have the cows or the horses yet. I wanted to see how much. Right now I'm buying food through the store. That's why I'm not making my own chaff or grass to feed them, so it's a little bit expensive. But they're making money. Every month, and you'll see that coming up, that goes by, you get money. I guess the ducks you're getting money for the feathers, and the chickens you're getting money for the eggs. The goats are getting money for their milk, and the sheep give you money for their wool. But you don't have to do anything. That is a little bit of a downfall. It just does it automatically. You keep them fed. You don't even have to actually feed them. You just buy the feed and they find it automatically. Or drop the feed off. So they're very I don't know how to even say it. Yeah, you don't have to do much with the animals. Just buy them, buy enough food for them, and they will produce. And they produce slurry, which is going to be my fertilizer eventually, so that's why I wanted to get them. Slurry is going. Yes, PV Rivers. Hope you're enjoying it. I should get my alerts. I think that was another host by Bob Austin 123. Thank you, Bob. They're kind of hidden because I just threw this screen up in front of the farm sim stuff. All my alerts are hidden. They're there, and the noises are there. You just can't see them. But it's a new game. I wanted you guys to be able to see the whole screen without everything floating on top. So you get an idea of what it's like. A lot of manual labor in this game. I think that was it for... Oh, nope, there's another one down there. It's upside down. But when you pick it up, it goes right side up. Make sure there's no more... Oh, there's a whole row in the middle. Wow, how did I miss that? Room is filling fast because everybody wants to know about Farm Expert. Maybe not. Where is that row? It must be on this side. There it is. So you can see one greenhouse already brought in $35,000 or so, and now it's got another trailer plus. It's the big money. If you want to play a pretty a faster game getting started, jump on the Solar Valley map and buy the greenhouses and get those working. It's the only one you have enough money to start with without even taking a loan. They give you 500 grand, and I don't want to spend an entire lifetime on this game because Farm Sim 17 is coming out, and we'll be back into that in another month and a half. So, barring editing the game files, which even the devs, yeah, speaking of editing the game files, the devs even mentioned how to go into the editor and edit the starting game so that you have more money if you wanted to, or you want to delete starting equipment in the map. But you're altering the map, and he said if you screw anything up, you just resynchronize your files and it will fix it. So that stuff you are capable of doing. I just wanted to get a relatively quick game in, and it might sit on the shelf for a long time, in another month or so, but I've already got over 40, well, I think I got 40 hours into it, which is a lot for the last few days. I need to really plan my turning spots a little bit better. Come on, you can do it. All right. On to greenhouse number 2. All the money, red money. Is it worth getting? If you can, you know, it all depends on the person. There are a lot of people out there that think it's junk. I'm enjoying playing it. I can live through uh, little bugs here and there, and I like to watch how it develops. There's a little thing. Sometimes a crate fills up too high, but it's one of those things, you know. Maybe it'll get worked out. I can live with that stuff. The gameplay is different. I like the way it plays. I hope they keep working on it because it's only going to get better. And it's only half the price of farm sims, so I look at it this way. I'm having fun. It's not for everybody, but the more money they get, the more competition they will be for giants. And the more they'll be able to, as long as they're responsive and keep working hard at it, they put some pressure on giants to come out with a better product themselves. So I think of it as an investment to push giants along, you know. Once giants get some more competition in the ring, they're going to have to fight. Right now their business model seems to be, let's take as much of the money as we can and return as little as possible. They could do so much more. Like the dynamic terrain, they should be able to add it in. So I have no problem support. I think it's, like I said, bouncy trailers will get some people sick. The tractors the way they are right now. Come Monday, you can wait till Monday. I'll probably jump on Monday after the patch if it comes out Monday, and let's see how this physics improved on this stuff and the changes they made. They will give us a nice list. There's supposed to be a lot of fixes and changes coming on Monday, which is tomorrow, right? Yeah, tomorrow. So we'll have to wait and see. But other than that, if you want some different gameplay, other than farming sim for a little while, then it's not bad. Yeah, I like what they're trying to do too. And that's, I'm fine. Like I said, 39,000 for that load. Because sometimes the crates fill up differently. There's randomness in the greenhouses too. I can't show you because I already harvested them all. But sometimes the yield will say very low on one plant and record on the other one because you had a record yield on it. But I think there needs to be more involvement in spraying the crops in the greenhouse with insecticides or whatever. And right now that does not exist, but the potential is there because you can bring this. They have makes no sense to me. They have the sprayer, but when you bring it made just for the greenhouses, it's attached to my little yellow thing up there. Yet it has no effect if you do anything with it. So I don't know if that was intentional or if it's a feature coming later or what it is, but right now the sprayer is kind of a waste of money. Oh, I missed my turn. Did I miss my turn? Yeah, I missed my turn. I do that. Back it up. See how smooth that rides in reverse? So they've done a lot, though. I mean, a lot of different style gameplay. It's, to me, I try not to compare it to Farming Simulator because it won't. But if you like the genre of games, farming games, and you're looking to do something different every now and then, I think that this will be a pretty good game in the long run once they get everything else fixed. I'm already enjoying the orchards and the greenhouses and the different styles of things to do. Good evening, Big Chris. How's it going out there? But definitely figure greenhouses is where the money is at right now. I hope I can get some fields for my crops pretty soon, but I'm working on the animals. I have never ever, not even in Farm Expert 2016, I never got to even purchase an animal. So animals are what I'm working on right now. Getting all this cash. I'll have all the animals by the end of this sell-off. Oh man, I stink at driving. Let's do it this way. There we go. Spin it around. Now, did I finish that greenhouse? No. Lots of crates in there. Gotta pick up all the crates. Did I finish the last greenhouse? I have no idea, because this one has a lot in it. I might have left a couple behind. Let me go check. Yeah, Lamillo, I've been messing around with the past few days with Farm Expert, just checking it out, seeing what it's all about, what they have. It has its issues, but it has some pretty cool things as well. Alright, so I did finish that greenhouse up. And the greenhouses are one of them, so I've been really working the greenhouses. It's different. And manual labor in a farming game, you actually have to get off your tractor and run around crates and put them on your truck. Now, another thing that's been mentioned that they really could use to improve on is there really is no economy built in, which kind of is sad. It would be nice to be able to have a warehouse to store these in and then wait until the price raises up to sell it all off. And Civman MI, thank you for the follow. But it just doesn't exist, so there's no sense of keeping this stuff. And there's no point in figuring out what sell point to sell it at, because you just get your price when you get there regardless. So that kind of is pick the closest place and sell it off. So it could use a better economy model with random price fluctuations, a warehouse to store stuff. There's a lot of that stuff missing. But then again, Farming Sim doesn't have greenhouses and orchards, so every game, it's just a little bit different. At least they don't now. But with that new mechanic coming in that you can actually pick up objects like this we do here, you might start seeing some of this stuff. And I'll guarantee you this, if Farm Expert starts taking a piece of Giant's pie, you will start seeing some of that stuff. Their sales go down, they're going to have to start putting in some of this stuff that people like if they're going to other games. You'll give a mother-in-law for free? You can't give mother-in-laws away. Am I full there? Yes, that one's full. What issues as far as this game? Oh, there's the bouncy tractors is the worst one. If you can overlook some things. There are bugs. There's a fertilizer sprayers for the orchards not working. There's just go to the Steam and look at the bugs and fixes, and you will see a whole list of things that people have reported. Some of them minor, like it's raining in greenhouses. But I don't think any of them have affected my gameplay that much, so other than the driving issues. So I'm willing to stick it out and take the game for what it's worth. Hey, it's $17.99 right now. It's not 40 some odd dollars. Superboy 306, thank you for the follow. Multiplayer has major issues, so if you're buying it for multiplayer, wait, because unfortunately they have a track record. They never got Farm Expert 16 multiplayer working, and this version comes back with multiplayer that is just as bad. We were able to do it if you watch back my first video, but synchronization is just awful. When you're working fields, I can have it say 100% plowed and show 100% plowed, then Big Daddy would be there telling me it's only 82% plowed, and I can't see the areas that he doesn't. It's just the synchronization between players. So, and then jump in a tractor, he doesn't see me get out of the tractor, and then he sees me go in another one, and I'm actually in two tractors at the same time. It's some crazy stuff. So wait if you plan on doing multiplayer stuff. That's all I can say. Hopefully they'll eventually get it worked out, but I'm not holding out any hope for it. Yeah, it's not easy to set up, and we got it set up using Tungle for a local area network, and I was able to also, we got it set up correctly, but Big Daddy had it set up, and we all tried, myself, Hunter Farmer, and Big Daddy, all set up the same way Big Daddy did, but yet he and I were the only, I could only see his game. Hunter Farmer couldn't see his game, and he couldn't see my game when I set it up. So there's definitely some, I don't know why his was different. And actually setting up multiplayer in that way worked a little better. But to this day, that there's a list that pops up of hosted games when you can check online to see if who's hosting a game. And to this day, I have not seen anybody in that list other than the one time Big Daddy was in there. So it definitely has issues, for sure. And I don't know if they can fix them. Yeah, raining in greenhouses saves money on the water bills. I can't remember the engine you can use for weather, but they can make for your living to be the same on play. I'm not exactly sure what you're saying there, but that's probably me. So I'm getting there. What are we on? Greenhouse 2 of 5. Once we get all my money, we're going to buy some animals. And we got to check the what do you call them? All my orchards out and see how the trees are going. I don't know when I planted raspberries. Just give you an idea. Raspberries, the little bushes. I picked a 2.2 hectare field to plant raspberries, which was probably a mistake. But I had the field at the start of the game, so I just converted it to an orchard. It took me 3 hours to plant the raspberry bushes. Just to plant that one field with. So I'm hoping that I get lots of raspberries. And I hope I don't ever have to plant it again. Like the orchards, you don't have to replant the trees unless you decide to change your orchard. Oh, the awesome weather system. The Ark, yeah, I haven't really jumped on that yet. The Scorched Earth pack. Something that I want to do, but I'm still trying to figure out how to get my current player over to the Scorched Earth world. Because I don't want to start over again. I don't have the time to go from level 1 all the way back up to 90 where I am now. I just want to be able to play and then do the content without leveling up for the next 6 months another character, and I haven't figured out how to get him over there yet. Yeah, one of the, if you're big into brand names and that's your thing on farming games and that type of stuff, then you're not going to get it in here yet. And I that to me is completely understandable. They don't have the multi-millions of dollars that we've given Giants already to buy the licensing for all the tractors. They have a couple brands in here, but they're probably the cheaper licenses. That's probably what they go by. What's the next cheapest one we can actually afford? And that comes in time. Giants, look at Giants' track record. Go back to 2008. See how they started. See how they've slowly added more and more brands and more. It requires people to purchase their games and for them to make money to keep improving on them. Therefore, I purchased in hopes of someday they either catch up or somebody takes notice and they hire some more people that can do more interesting and better things. That's what it's going to take. Trial and error. Of course, we have Pure Farming that's coming out, and we also have Cattle and Crops that will be out. So those both look like they have some serious promise. We'll have to see how they work out. If one was to play this game and go to Farm Sim, I don't know, I think most people would switch and stay. Yeah, it's hard to say. If you started here, Farm Sim has its issues as well, but if this came out when Farm Sim was being really successful and they did good, you know, it'd be a different story. Modding is very important, and let me tell you, the world editor, which they spell with a Y in the middle, is tricky at best with all the functions. It looks more complicated, which sometimes complicated, yeah, I can't even talk. Sometimes complicated is feature filled, and sometimes it's just complicated. If it has more things you can do, and that's why it's complicated, then that's worth learning. If it's just complicated and to accomplish simple tasks, like that's what Giants Editor has going for it. Even somebody like me can, who has absolutely no real computer training or experience, can make maps, and I don't want to have to go get a degree in computer science to run your game editor. I'm too old for that right now. So yeah, we'll see if it just looks complicated or it is complicated, but I haven't even figured. All right, so I couldn't figure out how to move in the editor, and I mentioned it in the forums, and they responded and said, okay, hold the O key down and use the mouse button. So yeah, that worked. That's great. So now I can move in the editor. Now I can highlight an object, but I don't know how to manipulate the object. I can't drag it or move it around. It's just a whole new learning curve, one step at a time. I can delete it. So if I have trees on this map that I keep running into or don't like a building here or there, I can delete them and save the map and create my new map. That's about all I can do right now. And I don't know exactly how they're even saved. A modded palette system. Please, no. I like the way you. It would be nice, what would be cool is if you had like a conveyor that you drop these on manually that brought them right out to your truck. That would be okay. But I like the fact that you have to get in here and pick them up and move them around. You know? This came out a couple days ago. It has mixed reviews. Mostly having to do with the physics and the vehicles jumping around, and there are some issues. So the question is, how much are you willing to overlook until they get the stuff fixed to get the enjoyment out of the game? And if you're like me, I've been having a great time with it because I'm good at doing repetitive tasks, such as greenhouses. You have to be good at repetitive tasks to be a map maker because at some point you're going to have to plant those 10,000 trees on your map, and then you got to put 10,000 pieces of fence in your map. So if you are a person that is good at boring repetitive tasks and you don't mind them, then there's a career for you in map making for Giants, because that's that's a requirement. Brussels Picker, thank you for the follow. And I dropped this one on the ground and didn't even notice it. Get up there. Thank you. All right, another load. We are only on Greenhouse 2, so we're making tons of money. If I had another person in here to drive the trucks away, I could be filling another one. But no, multiplayer doesn't work that good yet. As a matter of fact, things like this in multiplayer would probably, if I was dropping the crates, you might not even see some of them, and then you'd load the truck, and then they'd reappear on the ground because, oh man, it's just stuff like that happening all the time. Is it better than 15? I'm not going to compare. I wouldn't say that it's better than Farm Sim 15. Farm Sim has all their stuff worked out. Does it have potential to be, and does it offer a different style of gameplay? Yes. So it offers some different things. I love the way the seasons work. That's one of the things I think that Farm Sim lacks. This lacks in other areas, but here you're working a season. You have to plant early on in the year and harvest before the end of the year. And like I said, if you work your greenhouses properly and plant them at the right times, you can get 2 harvests out of them. You have to plant your orchards, and literally, if some of the trees I think take up to 5 years to grow before you can profit from them. So you got to fertilize and insecticide and herbicide your fields and fungicide your fields to get the maximum yields on field work. There's a lot of different, more involved, more realistic aspects to this game than Farming Sim has. But as far as the overall content and quality, Farming Sim's still going to have it beat for a while. That's until they get better. I mean, models need to be upgraded. The graphics could use another overhaul for sure. But good. I've seen worse games and I've played worse games. And if you look at my Steam game list, you'll realize that out of all the games I play, this has to be like Farm Sim actually probably doesn't have as many hours because I didn't have that on Steam originally. I had it outside the game. I probably have, so don't pay attention to that. I've been using the Giants copy rather than the Steam copy. When my computer hard drive failure whole upgrade thing happened, I needed to buy it again, so I grabbed the Steam edition, so if that ever happened, I wouldn't lose my copy anymore. So I only got like 40 some odd hours in Farm Sim, and I probably got that much in here now. No, but as far as games go, this will probably move up the list of how many hours I put into games. It's probably already up there. Like I said, I think I've already spent 40 hours in this darn game this week. Yeah, it doesn't have seasons, and I agree. It's the whole fact that you can plant your crops today, harvest them tomorrow, plant them again that tomorrow, and harvest them the next day. It doesn't make reality any sense. There's no prior planning. Oh, I ran out of wheat. I'll just go plant some and I'll have it tomorrow. In this game, you run out of wheat for something, uh, maybe next year, you know? That's what I like about it. Although they could utilize that whole feature a little bit better, but if you run out of straw for your animals, did I do this one? This one's done. You run out of straw for your animals, you have to wait till the next season, and at that, you might, or you can buy it. I do think that buying stuff in the store is a little too cheap because hired workers cost so little money. It almost is like, why take 3 hours to do a field when I can spend $120 and have a plane fly over? You know, doesn't cost much for the hired workers. Yeah, the animals. I did. Funny thing you should say that. The animals on I played Farm Sim, yeah, Farm Expert 2016. They started me with animals, and I pretty much ignored them so bad in the beginning that they all died. I didn't know how to feed them. I didn't take the time to learn to feed them right off the bat. So this is different. At least my chickens and stuff are still alive down there. I hope they don't require chaff because I haven't found a way to buy it. I'm using up the supply the game started me with. I hope they will just take my grass. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, heard about that WoW expansion. I am not a WoW player, thankfully. I never got into WoW. I kind of took a different route and bypassed WoW. Uh, I was an EverQuest player, EverQuest 2, and then that goes back a few years. I'm showing my age now. And then got into a period of time where I don't know, WoW just I tried it, but there was a lot of games that I tried. Dark Ages of Camelot, and there was a game called Shadow Bait. There's a ton of I've tried just about all of them. And then Lord of the Rings Online was really the next MMO that I got into for a long time. Lord of the Rings Online was pretty good. See, a lot of people that I played Lord of the Rings Online were ex-WoW players that had just given up on WoW, but there were a lot that just kept going back, you know? So, but if you started Lord of the Rings without having a character that was already maxed out in WoW, then you never played WoW. Got that right. There are a lot of games like that. I spent years playing those games. Lord of the Rings Online. Then after Lord of the Rings Online, I kinda got hooked on World of Tanks for a little while. Played World of Tanks for a few years. And then all hell broke loose in real life, and I didn't have money to keep my accounts going there, so I picked up a simple little game called Farming Simulator, and yeah, rest is history. Although, I'll have to say, I probably have worked on maps 5 times more than I've actually played Farming Simulator. Literally. I estimate that one of my map easily had over 1,000 hours worth of time into just making the map. And that was and I don't even know how long I worked on Rivers. I stopped keeping track. It was literally hours sitting in front of the computer doing those things, but you know, I don't do it for I do it for fun. It does get frustrating at times, but the reward at the end is usually pretty cool. Getting a new map that you created to play on. And then I never get to play them anymore. I actually am probably one of the very few people out there that's in that audience that have played my maps that I probably played less than all of you on Rivers. I could be playing now. I have finished building 2 bridges. That's as far as I've gotten so far on my map. My crew is the one that plays it and tests it, and I just keep going working on it. Which is not always the case. I tend to get to play more like when PV15 came out, the first map we did. The thing is that that map comes out and the modding community hasn't released that much stuff, so I don't have as much technical stuff that has to go in the map. And we ended up playing the first one through, I think, 3 times as a team, and I did get to play quite a bit on those, but Rivers I barely even touched. I literally, yeah, I'd stop in and play for a few hours a day here and then a few hours, but it was usually just to test the things I put in the map to make sure that they were working well enough to move on. Almost done with the fairgrounds. That's cool. Alright, so you guys, I got a lot of my Farm Sim fans out there. I don't want to do the fairgrounds again, so think of another type of thing that we can do. I want to mix it up a little bit. Any ideas you guys have? I'm always willing to listen. You know, we've used the fairgrounds now in 2 maps, and I think it's time to either do a casino or something. I have no idea. But I want to mix things up this time. Make some new stuff. That's the most popular suggestion yet, but I do want to keep it family friendly. A strip club. Dance and Donuts is as close as you're going to get to a strip club. A 1X map. Yeah. You know, they'd be a lot easier. But I'll tell you this. That's the plan. Current plan is work on this new PV17 map. Actually, there's a lot planned. What can happen is beyond me. But first plan is to try to convert the current maps over, if at all possible. Maybe have to remove some stuff or do things a little bit different, but I'd like to start seeing some of the work I've done not just go and disappear. So I'm going to try to see if we can get at least Rivers and PV15 over to the new PV7 or Farming Sim 17. It might take a while, but we're going to look at it right away because I'm going to pick the easiest path to get the most out there for you guys as quickly as possible. A Mardi Gras. A European style street fest. There you go. Now you guys are thinking. Although we want American style, so it'd be Mardi Gras. A car showroom? Yeah. We could do, yeah, well, there's some ideas. A rodeo. I can't do animations, and a rodeo's be kind of tough without some bulls and stuff to... We'll see. Definitely. Ooh, excuse me. But there's some good ideas. A gun store. We'll put hunting in there. tractor pull has been done with a mod. Yeah, I'd like to have another stadium. All right, so let's get back because this kind of plays off of the idea. I want to convert Rivers if possible and PV15 version 2 if possible to Farming Sim 17, as well as finish my current 4X map. And I was actually thinking, and I might even try it, I don't know, my Industries map from 2013. Now that the UPK kit has most of its functionality, that might be able to be converted over to PV15, and if so, it could probably be converted to 17. But that's another project. I'm gonna test some things. If it looks like it might work, I might go on with it, but who knows. I want to see some of that stuff revived, and I'm gonna try to take the easy path on that, so it buys me some time to keep working on another new map. You can use scripts. That's the funny thing is, I'm not a script writer either. I am just a piece. I am a thief. I take other people's work and make it better. I can edit scripts, some of them, to make to achieve things. I am a problem solver. I guess that's what I do. I find ways to do things, even if it takes me a month. But yeah, we'll see what people come out with, and I look for things and I find the best stuff that other people have created and add them into the maps and sometimes tweak things to make them work a little bit differently. Yeah, well, I don't know if you guys know, but there's a video series. 2017, they showed one video on how to convert mods from the FarmCon Vault library, and then they charge you $4.99 for the rest of the videos, and you can watch a whole series. I think it lasted the week, 5 days or 6, 7, I don't know, of FarmCon videos, and they tell you learn a lot about Giants just watching those. I bought it strictly because I wanted to have a head start knowing what I could do and what can I, the more I know now, the more I can continue on with developing the next map before the release of FS17. And the biggest disappointment is that if I could have went to FarmCon, I'd already have the 2017 editor, which is yeah, 7.0. They gave it away free to those at FarmCon, so some people already have it, an advanced copy, and already know what to do. I don't have that luxury. But I bought the video series, and to make the long story shorter, Giants pretty much admitted that a lot of their ideas come from the modders, and actually a lot of the modders are now working for Giants throughout. One talk was from this guy that he literally went through the mods, and if you guys, he works for Giants, but he's been on like 3 different modding teams. He was involved in the forestry mod on 2013, and he was also involved in doing the dynamic fill plane mod, and all that stuff came from modders. They do. One guy even made a joke on one of the days. He goes, now we just steal our ideas from the modders out there and put it into the game if it's good. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, to see the water function like Marhu has been doing it for the last 3 versions or 4 versions of FarmSim. I can't work at Giants. I don't speak their language. Also, I'm not a mod. I'd have to have a special role for a guy like me, because I don't do script writing. I'm an idea person. If they have a room for an idea person, then I'll take the job. I can make maps but I can't create the assets for the maps. I can tweak assets. I mean, we take what's available and see what we can do with it, such as the stones down in the stone processing facility. That was my invention and Big Daddy. We worked on that, but it's really a pallet spawner, and it is a pallet that looks like a rock, and it's just reusing processes that were already there in different ways. That's what we really do. Ways you wouldn't think of. So we've made soccer balls, Pepsi machines, and stone processing, all from that little fabric script. And same way with the UPK kit and the buildable factories. If I told you how long I wanted to do that and how many attempts that I did that did not work, you guys would probably be amazed. The fact that I was able to get it and show the build stages actually pretty much amazed More 2000 too, the guy who created the UPK kit, on what I was able to do with it. I pushed it to the limits, and it was really just figuring out how to get the steps in there. And it's so confusing to me that sometimes I have to look at my previous still, even though I've done how many factories now that we've built. If I was to do it again, I'd probably have to look at one and use it as a template because of the way the things are nested to get it to work. And it's not perfect, but it's what we have. It's all all that there was. You can speak my German. That'd be good. Is Giants incorporating any? I don't know what they have. They're bringing animals have changed quite considerably. I love the pig models. If you've seen the latest videos of Giants, so I think you're going to have some more hands-on work to do in the animal barns. It looks like, as far as what modding they've got from the community that they're bringing into this version. I'm not exactly sure. This version to me is more about, I think, tweaking things. A lot of lighting. The lighting should be fantastic, according to what I've seen. Modding should be easier. The way that they redid the mods should be a lot easier to do things that we couldn't do in the past. So I'm looking forward to that. One of the examples the guy gave in his talk is that he was able to, the way tires are done on vehicles and dynamically added through the shop, he literally was able to put 32 tires on an axle. Not that that's practical, but it just goes to show you might even see some triple wheeled tractors and stuff like that coming out, because it's very doable with the new modding, the way it's set up, and the wheel library the wheels are pulled from. And they just made things more streamlined and easier for the modders to. They're really on top of the modding this time around. I think it's gonna open up a lot of more, and I think that along with the modding, they made new parameters for like a let's say you got a manure spreader, for example, and this is going to be pretty big. I believe they're going to have it so that if you do solid manure and fertilizer, it adds to the field in this version. So doing them both steps will make your yield go up higher than if you just did one, which is something I always wanted. But they've added new parameters to the equipment so that on a scale, now you don't have to mess around with, okay, how much fertilizer do I want this to use? It actually takes into effect the width of the piece of equipment, and the it adjusts the output automatically. You can have a bigger capacity tank for the really large spreaders, but the coverage should be equal, and it should use just as much no matter what spreader that you're using. Whether you have a 32 meter spreader, it'll take just as much to cover the same size field. That stuff is, I think, necessary So, I mean, already you can get a spreader that will last, do the field, and take very little or no product because right now we can edit that. But I think streamlining that stuff a little bit better so everybody has the same effect is going to be a huge step forward too. Chevy Strong 123, thank you for the follow. I promise I'll finish these up and we'll get to animals eventually, but I'm still making money. I need money. I got a lot of money. Money in the greenhouses. We only have this one and one more to do. But I'll try to entertain you by talking. Yes, you have to plow before you cultivate and seed the fields. In the new Farm Sim 17, you're also from what I understand, you have to plow once every 3 times. You need to replow your fields, and I think that is a feature that can be turned on or off. But I want to play that way. How many people are going to play that way? I'd like to know. Do you want to? Are you the one that's going to just turn it off so you can play the way it is now, or are you going to set your game up so that you have to plow the field every 3rd time? I say I want to play that way, and I don't know if it'll happen. I'm leaving it on to start with, and I want to leave it on, but I wish the option wasn't there. That's what I'm getting at. I wish they made us do it, because it's going to be too darn tempting to turn it off after a while. But it will definitely be more realistic. See, I think that's one of the good things about this game right now is it hasn't been touched by the modding community to where everything can be done easy. I can't just throw, you know, extra vehicles on the map and stuff in the game or go into a file and edit I might be able to once I figure it out, but I think that sometimes I look at these games that have these settings and yeah, it's nice to be able to tweak it the way you want, but sometimes that's one of those ones, like wheel damage. Like you mentioned the wheel damage there. It's more realistic if left on. You can turn off crop damage too. And most of us are going to turn it off because we don't want the crop damage. That's just the easy way out. If it was on from the start, we'd have a more realistic farm game. We'd have to really think a little bit more about what we're doing. When we're harvesting the fields, we wouldn't be able to just drive over them to get to the next one. Which, by the way, this game has damage for the crops, and you got to be careful because you could seed the field and then drive over it and damage it right after it's seeded. You can't see the stuff growing yet, but it's one of those things that people don't want it. Some people don't want it, so there's an option. I'm just one of those people that I guess if I have an option to to turn on crop damage or turn it off, I'll probably turn it off. But if they made it so I had to use it, I'd probably enjoy it more down in the long run. It's kind of weird. I don't know. It's one of those things that goes back and forth. But usually what my decision comes down to is what the people on our server want to play, and a lot of them don't want to damage the crops, so it'll get turned off. Whereas if they didn't have it as an option, we'd all have to learn to play the real farming way, To me, think about it this way. There's specialized equipment to do specialized tasks in the farming industry. I don't know much about farming, but I do know that the care wheel tractors are made so that they don't damage crops on the field. That's one of the things. And the thin wheels on the fertilizer sprayers like the Amazon and stuff, they're there for a purpose, and it would be nice in the farming game if it made a difference, because right now, currently, it's a useless option. who cares if you have care wheels? Let's get the dualies on the back and run over all our crops because it's not going to make a difference, and they look cooler. So that's just my 2 cents on the whole thing. If it was there, we'd have more specialized stuff. Can I put it down? I think the PV Rivers download link is on the website in there somewhere. On the whatchamacallit. It's on our PV Mods forum somewhere. Probably stickied. But as far as the Wix site, I haven't been keeping that up. I'll be honest with you. I'm terrible at organizing stuff. I've got so much going on sometimes especially when I'm doing the maps. I really gotta simplify my stuff there quite a bit so I can streamline it. I need a secretary. Anybody want to be my secretary? Keeping links straight and stuff. I need to make it so there's just one place that does everything, not 10. Because if I have 10, only one's going to get updated, and the other 9 people will be asking me. All right, you're probably looking at the Wix site. There's PV Rivers forums in the pvmods.engine.com, is it? I don't know. But exclamation point. What actually is KW? I can't even remember the command in here to get the link. There's a button right down below on this stream. You see the icon for PV Rivers? It pulls up all the files. Just click down below on the stream there. That little PV Rivers icon, it'll open up the folder with the latest version, and any releases, updates are there as well. You don't need to go any further. And you're here now, so I'm sure you can find it. Almost there, guys. We're on the last greenhouse of tomatoes. But look at the cash. What did I start with? About 200,000? This is the way to get money. Now, if they could just make it so the tractor would drive a little smoother. Only if you keep your hands to yourself. I promise. I won't. I mean, I will. I'm telling you, though. It's... Yeah, organization of stuff like that is my downfall. And it's a lot. I don't want to... I guess I don't want that to start taking away. And I'm sure you guys, if you looked at it that way, you would agree. If I have to start spending 8 hours organizing stuff, it's taking every day, it's taking 8 hours away from doing the next maps. You know? And it's also 8 hours, even if I'm just playing a game. I need to relax a little bit more. So I'm taking a break while I can. But I don't want to sit there trying to organize. And that's why I'm terrible with updating and I'll tell you, I will update it all in one big batch, the museum. But I have to go through and mark down everybody that donated and make sure I get all those together and then do that. I gotta alter the graphics individually. It's a big process to do that thing, which I enjoy, but it's not gonna happen every week anymore. On the PV downloads on the website on Engine. I'll check it out. I will do that. I know I suck at it, but I'll see if I can get that up there. You know, I honestly haven't been in the forums that much lately. I was letting Viper and you guys take care of the forums, and Wolfie, and because it left me more time to do other stuff. Like I said, I'm fully prepared and going to be, I'm sure, putting another 800 to 1,000 hours in this next map when it comes up. So forums is not my priority. That's why I'm getting a little bit of a head start. Did I finish this greenhouse? I think I did. Yeah, we're on to the last one. I usually, when I'm not talking, drop a crate out in front of the one that I'm working on so I can remember when I get back. But we're on the last one. Lots more to pick up. Probably another load and a half here. Then we get to see what's happening on the orchards. See if I messed anything up there. So yeah, let's see. Aren't you glad that I didn't plant these greenhouses and harvest them while I was on the stream? Are you guys? Because I started 3 hours before I started streaming, and we're already an hour and a half into just picking up the crates. So plan on things being a little more manual if you get this game, and a little more effort to accomplish your tasks. And maybe not the best streaming because you can't, because the way the seasons are set up, you can't just jump from one thing to the next because right now nothing else is ready other than the greenhouses. So it's greenhouse season. And then after greenhouses, I might have, I don't know when the orchards are going to be ready, the berries and stuff. But I may have to, I'll buy some more animals, we'll check those out. But I may have to go back to greenhouses again until the orchards are ready to harvest. So far, I do know that trees, some of the trees take up to 5 years if it's the same as 2016, till they're ready for their first harvest. Then you get them every year, but I'm only on year 2. So I might have 3 years of just doing greenhouses and buying more fields. We'll get some, as the money gets higher, I can start doing some harvesting fields and stuff. That's the plan. I'm going to do greenhouses till I have all the equipment to make it easier to do the fields harvesting. That's the way I'm working. Oh yeah. I hear you there, Trollarchy. Uh, completely. I understand that very well. That is why what I do is our server and all of our players are running off of a Dropbox folder, which is synchronized for all of the guys that are on our server. So if I do any updates or anything, and it's the way to go if you're developing a map especially or working on mods, because they no longer have to, it's a requirement here now. They no longer have to sit there and up Dave made an update, let me get the download. They're running Dropbox. If I do an update, they always have the latest version. It downloads as long as their Dropbox is running, they get it. So much easier. Takes all the work out of it. Which reminds me, I'm gonna have to renew Dropbox at some point. I don't know when I gotta check and see when it expires. Yourself there you go. It's good to know, Lamillo. I'll keep it in mind. I have to get better organized. I want to get more, give you guys a little more access to what we're doing, the subscribers and stuff. I know I'm terrible at it. I do appreciate everybody that's subscribed, and it'd be nice if I could offer you something more. And I'm looking at some things, but it's so tough, you know, to figure out. I can't, it's a balance for me. I gotta make sure that whatever I do doesn't require another 20 hours a week, you know, because it takes me so darn long to do these maps the way I want to do them as it is, that the more of that other stuff that starts filtering in, they just wouldn't get done. You can set Dropbox as your mods folder. Already do it. That's exactly what I do. And everybody on my team sets Dropbox as their mods folder. Exclamation point MFS plus my mod folder switcher. You just point it to your Dropbox and it'll make that the folder that your mods are in. So that's exactly how we do it. It's actually in the same folder, the release, the software that I created will change the folder that your mods read out of. Yep. Yep, you can switch between mod folders with my mod switching program, and it allows you to actually, what the heck? Hang on a minute. Let me see if I could do this. Basically, where is it? This game sucks at minimizing. Let me see if I can save the game before, just in case I crash it. Let's see. My mod folder switcher program is behind somewhere. Can't find an icon for it. See, when I click this window, it's gonna make it big again. Well, without shutting down the game, maybe at the end of my broadcast I'll show you how to do it. But it's there. It's relatively simple. And now my screen is black, so I have to... They gotta work on the features here with the switching out of this game as well. You realize that's another thing, by the way. My mod folder switcher program is specifically set up for 2015, so I will be creating as soon as possible, because it's probably just one line of the whole code, a new version for 2017 when 2017 comes out, so you guys can continue using it. It shouldn't be... It'd be much easier to make the next version 2017, but I don't know. I'll probably have to rename it or something so you can run both of them if you want to still use the 2015 version. I don't want to take too much time creating a whole new one when all the work is there, and I don't really want to add new buttons in and everything so that they're both you can do both in the same program right now, but it strictly overwrites the game directory for Farming Sim 15, so there'll be a MFS plus 17 version coming once I make sure that all the files in the same place. We'll get you that out. It's one of those things. Lots to do. I could easily... Well, no, I don't. It wouldn't be easy. Nothing's easy. I'm sure that once that 17 comes out and everything's converted over, that everybody will be switching. I don't think... I've run 13 since my flashback series that we did a while ago, but I don't even have it installed anymore. And eventually 15 will go by the wayside as well. It might support multiple directories. That would be just the smartest thing. It almost should. It would be so nice if you could switch directories within the Giants game, and it would save me some trouble. But it almost needs to these days, I think. Choose your directory. They should have each game directory be separate. That is one of the bugs, Kick It Good, that still exists in the game, the wobbly driving. I expect you to see on Monday's patch, tomorrow's patch, I think it should get a lot better because it is probably the biggest, most prominent thing that everybody notices and drives everybody crazy. So I'm sure they're working on tweaking it, and it will get better. It's just the whole wobbly tractors and trailer thing. People want it out of there, and I can't drive with it. No, I'm getting pretty good. See, that's how I remember where I left off, by putting a little basket out front. I gotta get back to doing that. So, we are almost there. This is the last load, I swear. Then we'll go check out the animals and buy some cows and a horse or two. The tractors are made by some man. Salmon? I have no idea. That's an orchard tractor. Interesting thing about this game too. There's two orchard tractors that have to be used for towing orchard trailers, and then there's several in greenhouses. They'll work in the greenhouses. So there's actually two different classes of tractors. You can't use one of the big tractors and pull the orchard picker, for instance, or these orchard trailers. There's a building in my way. I'm always running into the doors and walls. It's not the easiest thing. But that's another cool feature built into this stuff, is you don't see the vehicle getting too dirty because it's been raining the whole time I've been doing this. It's a rainy day. But at the end of every season, if I used a vehicle a lot, I take it into my repair shop and fix it up so that it continues to work, because if you don't, these things wear out. That's a kind of a cool thing. Giants is going to try to implement that in some fashion. We'll see how theirs compares. But these things can get pretty beat up. You run it into a lake, you got to pay to get the exhaust drained and all that fun stuff, and keep your maintenance up on your vehicles or they start performing crappy. Literally, you can reduce your top speed and things like that if you don't keep your vehicles maintained, which I think is pretty darn awesome. So, a little more realism in the vehicles in that point. And that's all we have left. Yay! Let's go sell these off and then go visit the horses. And I'll leave this down by the shop, because once I get my horses and cows, I'll have to buy some equipment if I want to get into doing anything else. So the last trip down of the greenhouses for season number 2. It is now September 15th at 9:42 a.m. and I just ran into a pole because the stupid pole jumped out in front of me. You could see that we're leaving some tracks, and this is a small tractor, one of the smallest too. It's an orchard tractor. It's meant to be small. So some of the tractors leave bigger marks than this little thing. And it does drive actually better on the grounds. I think it's something to do with their new physics conflicting with road surfaces that's throwing this thing all around. Because when you're driving in the fields and stuff, it might bounce around as much. See how it actually smooths out when you're in the fields. Then when you hit the roads, it's more bumpy than the sides of the road. I mean, look how we're wobbling, and then we get off road. And, yeah, fishtailing happened. Oh, yeah, we've got it going on with the wet weather. We hit some trees. But it's smoother. You notice that? It's smoother. It actually conforms to the ground. It's almost your birthday in game. So, once they get that fixed, then we should be good to go. It has to have something to do with what they're trying to do with the physics on the roads, making them slippery or something when it's, and I don't know. Not as much for that load, but I'll take it. $533,000. Oh, I don't want to go that way. Let's do a complete Yui here. One of the things that bugs me, and if you guys have seen me through this whole broadcast, is the triggers. I'm selling off to this place, and I'm not even pulling into the gates. They need to make smaller sell-off points that make you actually go into the parking lot. It's always bugged me about this. You got to shrink those sell triggers. I don't know if it's going to be possible with the way they have it set up, but if it is, modders will probably do something more realistic like that. Like the machine shop, you don't even really have to be near the machine shop. Anywhere and you can buy it. But I'm going to leave this one here and go up top to my McCormick, which is in between my... Oh, let's put up the information. This is my plum field, and this over here is my raspberry field, which I'm not quite getting why my raspberries are only showing up to that point when the whole field is planted. But maybe as I fast forward time, we'll get some more bushes. And that is time to do advance in time. Oh, no, we're going to go do animals. That's right. Let me grab my tractor. Let's get some more animals. Take you down and meet the whole family of... and see what's going on at the animal farm before I fast forward. So let's see. I think it's down this way. If I remember correctly, we go out, straight out from the farm and take a right-hand turn. Oh yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to do things. Oh, I left that tractor running. That's never good. That's supposed to cut the grass. You got to mow your orchards, and I guess I missed mowing it at the right time because I started mowing. I don't know. We'll figure out the whole mowing thing. But I wanted to get that grass for my animals. Alright, so down the road here is my little animal farm with all the big question marks or information on each of the animal types. So animals are pretty darn simple so far. Let's jump out of here. I'll introduce you to the family. Let's see, where's the family? Over this way, for starters. I think. Is that where it is? What do we have over here? Yes. Now, one of the things you'll notice with the goats is like they're all jammed into the pen. They're not out in the field roaming. And the sheep are in there too, and they look weird. Almost metallic. I don't know why. They're kind of... the textures are really pretty bad on the sheep, I have to say. And the goats. But... and he's stuck in the wall. And they don't move around, so I don't know why he's sticking through the wall. He's just got to be placed a little better. But there's the sheep and the goats, and somewhere around here, this is where our chaff goes, which they're out of chaff apparently. I hope they don't need it or they're going to starve. Hope they can rely on the other stuff I buy them. Over here, we have our ducks. They're hanging out. And the ducks supply feathers. And our chickens are on the other side of the pen. And they give us eggs, but you don't have to do anything. So that's kind of a bummer. You just buy them, stick them in there, and they do the rest. So how to buy them, you just go to the main menu and you go to the agriculture center here. Nope, it's not the agricultural center. Oh yeah, it is under the different tab. And we can now buy cows are $2,161. Notice I've maxed out my ducks and chickens at 10 right now, but I think there's a way to upgrade those buildings. I'll find out in a minute. And I've also maxed out my goats and sheep. So I'm going to buy my cows. 5 cows max right now, kind of low. Let's go see if I can find out where the cows are. This is my slurry tank. Allows you to refuel any slurry things. There, it's yum. That's, I guess, right now the biggest thing is the production from the animals. There's the cows. Just laying down there. Hello, cow. There's some interesting poses. Oh yeah, so there's the cows hanging out, my 5 cows. And this is my manure that I can... Wait, what is this? Yeah, for the spreader. They're already producing it, which is kind of interesting. Alright, now, in order to feed them, you either supply the hay and stuff, or you go to the agricultural center and you buy hay stored, which I'm going to have to up that because they're going through quite a bit. I'm buying hay instead. I can't make it yet myself. We'll buy a bunch of hay, and then there's feed for poultry, and I don't think you have to do anything else. As long as they have those 2, you're good to go. So let's see if I can... We'll bring this up to about... I do want to make my own hay. Yeah, that's good enough for now. Let's buy a horse. Oh, we can buy 2 horses? 3 horses? 4 horses? 5 horses. So they allow 5 horses to start off with as well. Now let's go see if I can find my horse barn. See what my 5 horses look like. Those are my cows. There's a stable over here with horses somewhere. What is this building? Just closed. That's my ducks and stuff. Hello, horses. They must be over here. No, that's my sheep. Is this the horses? No, that's a garage. Where are my horses? Anybody see my horses? If the cows are there and the sheep are over there, I was in... This must be the horse stable right here. There they are. So you can see the horses are in there. Ooh. Hello, horses. They look kind of empty without their hay on the ground and stuff. So, yeah, the animals are a little bit to be desired, sticking their heads through the walls. But, you know, it is what it is. What are you going to do? Like I said, nothing is perfect. It has its issues. You got to play the game for what it is. That's what I just bought for them to eat. My fodder. And I can stock it myself if I only get the stuff. Now I want to go in. I wonder if I can do it down here. So you get your overview on how many animals you have, but buildings. I can upgrade the cattle pen for 75,000. A cow shed for cows. A pen for the bird upgrade, and you can upgrade your stables for the horses. Let me see. I'm going to just do the birds for now. I don't want to keep... Oh. Now I can have 50 pieces, and it can still upgrade it again. So let's check out and see. They are kind of far apart, all these buildings, so they probably do have quite a bit of upgrading to do. And as you do it, you get more and you make more money. So is this where it was? Yep. So you can see it got longer. Yeah, that's not too bad. We've got quite, and it still has more upgrades to go, which is kind of cool. Let's buy some more birds. We can't do it through there. We got to do it through the store. So we can now buy more ducks, up to 50. And we can buy more chickens. And we might even be able, we have plenty of feed for. All right, so that's how. Uh-oh. There we go. That's how animals work. Look at all those ducks now. And there's even. Did I get chickens? Where are my chickens? Didn't I buy chickens? Maybe you can't do them both at the different. No, it says I have 50 chickens. I bet you when I reload it'll show more, or we reach the limit of how many things can show in here. But a little bit on the aminals. Let's do. Hey, why not? We'll run the chickens right out. I want to see what happens with this building. It's got 2 upgrades. Let's get the second upgrade for that building too. So now we have some. Holy mackerel! Look at that. They changed the whole back of the building. Pretty cool. I mean, that stuff's kind of cool if you have the money. We're fully maxed out with chickens. Look at them all out there. And now we can even buy more. The maximum amount of chickens for today is... This side might fill right in. Let's see how many chickens we can buy now. We can have a lot more chickens. Alright, so you can own up to 100 chickens and 100 ducks. And that's the max. I don't think there's any more upgrades on the building. It's redrawing. That's a little freeze up. Alright. Let's see. Is there any more upgrades on that building? Nope. Chickens are done. Level 3. Chickens and ducks are done. And we gotta feed them, make sure they have the food, but I got lots of poultry food. So we'll do another animal next time. What I gotta do is go up to fast forward time. We'll get off of this rainy day, and I just have to watch the orchards for any significant changes, because if I miss a harvest, I'll kill myself. No, I won't kill myself. But we're gonna be going through to the next season. Let me see, which way it was up? I can't remember. A left turn here. Left turn, Clyde. See, the physics on this tractor don't look nearly as bad. When you're going slow, they're fine. It's when you really get the speed going. And when you're hauling trailers, it's really noticeable. So you can have up to 100 chickens. Next time, I want to keep a little bit of money in the bank. I'd like to try to start getting some farm equipment at the for the next season, at least. I have nothing to do fields to feed my cows myself, rather than buying food for them, and that's kind of expensive. I did start mowing the orchard, and then I thought, oh my gosh, it's saying it's not fertilized. I think you can't really mow your orchards until they're actually orchards, because you just use up the fertilizer and you have to refertilize them if you mow them. Weird, but I'll wait until they're actually producing. So you can see I did mow a little bit of this one, and I could pick up the grass. It's raining though, and it's gonna mess up my fields. Let me fast forward. I want to specifically pay attention to not that. Where the heck is my field of... I can't... Oh, it's over there. Alright, we'll go through. Let's make some ruts down between the rows. Not too bad. Just don't hit your trees. I want to see what happens. I mean, I think it's just a drawing problem. I don't think they planned anybody planting 5,000 raspberries in one field. Because they're appearing slowly, but in this weird pattern. Interesting. Alright, gotta fast forward. See what happens. We're going to the end of this month, which is the end of the season. I highly doubt anything's going to be ready, but we'll find out. Let's go. We'll give myself 2 days just in case. Alright, so we're on the... And look at that. 350 profit from the sale of chicken eggs and 5,600 from goat milk, and we're making money by animals down there. That's all they do. Anytime you fast forward time, they give you the money. Now, one of the tricks is, here's some berry bushes. Still not ready. So we do know that our berries take more than a full season to grow. And you can go into your fields, like right here, and look at, if it didn't drop, the fertilizer value didn't drop, then you can still, they're not ready. So apples, 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 gooseberry, currants, and cherries. Nothing's ready. So they're all going to take at least 2 seasons. I'm thinking the berries might be ready the beginning of the next year. So let's go to the last day. And I got another 25 from chicken eggs, 400 from goat's milk, 70 no, I'm getting 400 from the chicken eggs. The way they word it is kind of weird. Chicken eggs are going like crazy because I got so many. Then we go to the beginning of the next month, which is the wait button. You can wait till the next morning. They should have a little flipper to choose your next month, but the little arrows to move forward, but we will wait through the night. Sorry I skipped over your birthday, Lamillo. I really didn't mean to. I didn't know what your birthday was. So we're making money, making good money off of those chickens. We're rolling in it. So, end of the season, it is now April 1st. We are into a new year. Looks like we might get some berries a little later this year because they're looking pretty big. What else do we have? We're not going to get our trees here. These are still got more time. These are the plum trees right there. They're growing. We've got a couple more years before we can get some plums, and then over here, those are our little apple trees. They take the longest, I think. You can see they've been planted just as long as the plum trees, but they're just little tiny things. They got definitely not going to make any apples this year. Plums, I might make one more year before we have plums because they're getting bigger. Cherries are so far away, I'm not going to check on them yet. Now, you just want to go back. Everything's still fertilized, which is good. Alright, let's go down and see. So yeah, plum trees are looking pretty good. I still don't quite get what my problem is with my raspberries. That whole field is planted and they're not showing. I think it's a rendering issue. I mean, maybe when I reload the game it'll work. Or maybe it's just... But I hope it renders in. Or I'll send them a bug report on that too. It might be because there are too many of them. Look at, as I drive along they're appearing. So it's just, yeah, really low view distance. Check that out. Isn't that weird? Now, are they going to stay drawn in? Maybe I have to go around the whole field to get them to draw in. Well, we'll find that out eventually. It's a lot of berries. Now, over here, I probably should have taken a different path, but I got to check my other berries. What do we have growing in that field? I'll have to check. You want to check, make sure. I mean, I have no idea when these are going to come ready, but I know it's not going to be in the beginning of the season. So, those are the what I these are cherry trees. Cherry trees. So this over here must be my what's in here? Currants. They don't even show up yet. They must take a long time to grow. The currants. Anybody know anything about those? Because they've been in the ground for a year and I don't see either that or it's bugged. I don't see anything, but there's 1,027 currant bushes in that grass field there. But the cherry trees got several years to go. So you know what that means, unfortunately. Nothing else ready. We can leave this tractor here. It means you must go back to down below. And this season, you'll notice my greenhouses are all empty. Back to the beginning. This season, I want to go to the agricultural shop. And I'm going to start out with, it might be a short season, because I'm going to buy peppers this time. All peppers. 1,350. I'm going to see what day they're done and see if I have time to do the cucumbers after them. So this is the fun part. Back to greenhouse work. Once all the trees and stuff come, actually this is also April, so once I get all my other stuff done, I'll see I got 300,000. I'm going to start buying some more fields. Oh yeah, once you buy them you got to go over to this rack here and then choose your pepper plants and then roll with it. Plant them away. I'm going to go look at getting some fields and plant them with, I got to buy the equipment, so I'm going to have to probably get a combine or something. I got to have all that farm equipment, and I'm probably going to need this season to finish up. But I'm going to plant my greenhouses the fast way. Get my peppers going. Now, if they're done by, I would say June 25th or June 30th, I should be able to get a second planting. And that also is random. I don't know if cucumbers are taking shorter all the time or if it just happens to be they took a little bit longer this season. So it's a little bit random, and it might have to do with the weather. I'm not sure what factors they take into effect when they do that stuff. But definitely, who knows if I can get these done. Let's see, it's April, May, June, July, August, September. 6 full months. 90 days. They have to be less than 90. And they at one time went to 107, and then I planted the next season. And the only thing that didn't grow were peppers. I got 2 of every other crop. So, plant up the greenhouses. Doesn't actually, this is the quick part of greenhouse work. Planting them. And each greenhouse holds 270 times that by 5. 1,350 pepper. Oh crap! Do you see that? I forgot a few. It always happens. I'll have to move those outside. That's money sitting there on the floor. One of the good things about the game, or is it bad? They should make those rot. Tomatoes that sat in a greenhouse for a year should be rotten, don't you think? They should disappear too. But no, I can still get the money for them. Money is waiting to be had. But I'm not gonna. I'll wait until this season's over. Not gonna drive 3 stinking crates down there right now. Don't need the money that bad yet. I've got animals to feed me. I'm gonna have to buy more animals. They are making a ton of cash. I have to check their food though. They went through the whole. Aw, man. Where is one missing in here? It says I have 269 planted. I do that. Go so fast. Oh, right there. Okay. Make sure I get 270. Or I'll be wondering where the heck I am. So thankfully there's only 5 greenhouses, but if I do a mod map, maybe I'll put in 30 of them. No. That would get a little crazy. We'll make an all greenhouse map. It'd be cool if you could take them to places to make them into jams and, or what, yeah, jams. Or tomato juice. That type of thing. That'd be kind of fun. I will have to say though, if you saw the plants, they look pretty good. They look better than the models in the Giants greenhouses. As far as these plants do when they're growing. Is anybody still awake out there? Or is my chat just stopped? Anybody have any plans for the holiday? I know I don't. I'm just doing the usual. And then again, half of you probably aren't from the US, so you probably don't even have a holiday. And some of you out there are happy that your kids are going back to school. Alright. How many is that? We have 540 left, so we only need 2 more greenhouses planted. See? Almost there, then we get to fast forward time and see what happens in our orchards and everything. I chose peppers to do first because they usually take longer, and maybe you won't have to see me harvest peppers. Actually, I'll probably go to bed by then, but I'm going to fast forward time and see if I can see what happens with the bushes up above. Because I got some cool farm equipment up there I want to use. I really do. Might have to save that for tomorrow night. Once the bushes come in, they'll produce every year. You're from the US? Cool. He's dozing off, staying up late. Yeah, I hear you, Jetty. I'm usually a late night person. Everybody else in this house right now is asleep, and that's when it's most peaceful for me to do things and especially when I'm doing map making and stuff. I very commonly will go till 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning because it's when you don't get interrupted with kids. And they're homeschooled here. I'm living in my sister's house. She homeschools, so they're here 24/7. 7 days a week unless they go out somewhere. Like they are tomorrow. But, so I find it's easier to get things done and concentrate and stuff late at night when everybody else is sleeping. I've also been known to do the homeschooling myself. I'm a substitute teacher by trade. No, not really. I got more crates in here too. They're just I forgot to move the other ones out. Yeah, well, it is what it is. I'll end up running them over. There's a holiday in Canada tomorrow. Cool. Well, enjoy your holiday. It's the same day as here. Our Labor Day signifies... What is Labor Day for anyway? Workers? Mothers that are having babies? No. signifies the end of summer. That's what it does. And the kids going back to school. It's like last everything closes after Labor Day, you know, if you're in a touristy area. Memorial Day opens up, Labor Day closes back down. Alright, so I have 30 pieces left. Did I literally miss a whole row in a greenhouse? I had to have. Am I losing my mind? Which greenhouse did I miss a row in? This one here. You guys didn't even catch that. Shame on me. You're supposed to yell out, "You missed a row back there." Alright, so we are planted. Now is the fun, boring part. I could buy some fields right now. Let me go to the shop and see what I can afford for equipment. I need to start purchasing some equipment for harvesting stuff. I left one of my tractors down at the shop. I do have my harvesters ready there. See them? For my bushes. There we are. So what do we need? We have one tractor up there. I have no trailers, no seeder. I want to get bigger stuff this time. Let's see, what do we have? 18,200. $18,000. What's the biggest trailer capacity? 20,000 on that Brantner. That's doable. Oh, balers are there. Yep, we're gonna need one of those eventually. What's the biggest capacity? 28,000. Cramped big body. I think that's it. So we'll get one of those. And let me get a big tractor. What's the best tractor? Oh, let's see. I don't know what half these numbers mean. EHS 80. Full fuel tank 280. EHS 160. I'll be honest with you. I just go by, okay, that one's pretty expensive. 102,000. That might be the better one. Let's see what else we have. What's EHS? Anybody? No? EHS? Which is primary machine on every farm. Without it, work is impossible. That's what I'm thinking. It's the horsepower. 250. 360 for this monster. That looks like the Blender Dio 123 is 360. It says it has a manual transmission, but I'm on easy mode, so that shouldn't matter. It's a Blender. It's 122,000. Is there anything else more expensive? All three of those are 122,000. And then the Landini is a 129. Is the Landini that good? I'm going to try the Blender. It looks big. I'm sure that's a brand name somewhere. It's a blender. What happens if you get in a blender? Nothing good, I'm sure. Alright, so we have a blender and a trailer. That should do those jobs. I'm going to send them home. And you do that by go home. Oh, I went with it. I didn't want to go with it. Oh well, it's home. Let me bring the trailer home too. You can go home with it if you're in it. That's good to know. There's my trailer. I left something running. Another one of those bugs. If you jump from something to something else when you're in a vehicle, it stays running when you leave it. I did figure that one out. Alright, let's see. Back to my shop. We have $179,000. I need a... Oh, let's see. What else do we have? Oh, that's not the shop. Enter. Let's see. We need a... We have our tractor. We have... How much... What do we have for combines? The 166,000. I am running low on cash. Well, we don't need the combine till the end of the season. What I think I'm going to do is, let's see, we got plows. What's a good plow? $127,000 plow? Holy moly. Oh, a subsoiler. What is a shuttle plow? Relatively worse in covering crop residues. There are different plows of varying number of ridges. Okay. If you say so, whatever that means. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'll have my peppers ready to buy the combine. This plow looks like a plow. Crop tool perform plowing covers crop residues. There are different plows. How big is that? That looks like an interesting plow. What I think I'm going to do though is save my money, buy a few fields, and hire some hired workers to do them to get started. So what I need to do is jump to find some fields. And my McCormick tractor is where I usually drive around. So this is my farm. I'm thinking, where do I want to buy fields? Probably right along this road. Let's go check out the ones down this direction. I don't know where that direction actually is, but it's way down there. And I think I need to find a road or I'm going off a cliff. Yeah, over there. There's a road down in that gully somewhere. We'll take this way. Found it. Whoa! Uh-oh, that could be trouble. Nope, we got it. Come on. You could do it. A little bit stuck. Alright. So we gotta find... So it is going to be interesting with this terrain, I'll tell you. Going to your different fields with your equipment is not going to be always an easy thing to do. Yeah, the animals will bring in some cash. Probably should have just spent a whole boatload in animals, but I'm going to get some fields going, but I got to go buy them, and this looked like a pretty good area. Let's bring that mini map up. We've got a field right there on our right. We've got this one up on our left. We've got quite a few fields. I'm going to get out and walk. So this one here, buy this field for, look at the prices on the field, $6,555. Yeah, sold. Thank you. I don't even pay. If you notice when you go over to these fields, they have a soil classification on it. Probably should make more sense, but hey, I'm not going to get that picky. If I highlight F2, this is soil class C, $7,658. We'll take that one. Then we'll jump down here. Soil class B, that's a little better. They're so cheap. Where do we go? Alright, I got spun around. I guess there's one more over here. I could buy a lot of fields with this cash. Buy this field, and you notice there's a convert to orchard. If I wanted them to be an orchard, you can convert them to orchard right away. You can also do it at any time during the game, but I'll own every single field in here eventually, the rate I'm going. They're so cheap. I'm going to save some money though, because I'm going to have hired workers do all this stuff. I manage the farm. That's pretty good. We've got a strip of 5 fields down here, I think. Now let me jump back to the main farm. I know there's a... Whoops. Let's see, what do we have up? Well, it's easy to jump in one of these. I know that's at the main farm. One of the things when you hire workers, you have to be at your farm. So it's kind of crazy, but I have to be up here to hire my workers. I guess it's because of where your employees are going to be. So we purchased 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what I'm going to do is get a plow guy on that field. And I wish this would stay open, but it doesn't. I mean, it's costing so little to have them do all the work. 3. Got that side of the road. 4. And apparently you can only have 4 hired helpers at a time. So at least we've got 4 going. Let me jump down there in my McCormick tractor. And we'll just check out the hired workers for a minute before we do anything crazy. Watch them doing their job. Now, right now, time isn't too important because they're just... But, yeah, there's a hired workers. They bring their own equipment. You don't have to own it. But look at that. He's plowing my fields nicely. What a guy. See, check out those physics, too, with the plow. I gotta watch him how to plow. I should probably watch a hired worker because I don't really know how to plow myself. So where's he riding? Right over the gully? Is that how you do it? Is that how you're supposed to do it? Without your wheel in the... Look at the terrain change. That's pretty cool. So he's riding over the middle of the furrow. Is that normal in real life? I have no idea. But that's how he keeps it so smooth. Look at that one. Pretty good. I mean, it's cool, but I've also heard that it's overdone because they shouldn't be that deep. I really suck. I don't know anything about real farming. But I do know that this guy is a good plower. Now we have 4 of them. There's the other guy doing the other field. And if you remember yesterday, I kind of showed you, and I'm going to do it again so we get the fields ready. If we advance one day, just to the 2nd of April, our fields are all plowed, except for one of them. And we can zoom in and find out. I think it was this one. It has 100% weeds, so I guess that's not plowed. So I don't think... Yeah, I gotta go back up to the farm. It's one of those things. They're keeping you honest. You gotta go back up to the farm to hire your workers. So we'll hit here. We're gonna finish everything up by going like this. Employee plow. It tells you the price. 158.72 euros to plow this field. And then we're going to go back and we're going to get loosening. Loosening is cultivator. They need to work on some of the English. 2. 3. So we got, that's the maximum number of workers. We'll switch to day 3. Improved ability manager. Alright, so now if we look at these fields, we have, it is cultivated and plowed, cultivated and plowed, cultivated and plowed, just plowed, and just plowed. So we got to get the cultivator guy out on these two. And we need to start fertilizing. You fertilize first. So we'll commission a plane to fly over that field. And yeah, this is like totally cheating, isn't it? Doesn't it seem like I'm not doing any of the work? I could be down there. Oh wait, no I can't. I gotta wait till the... I wonder if we can have more planes. Let's see. We can... Looks like they're letting me hire more planes. Oh, actually I probably had a flyover. Oh, there's guys cultivating on those. So I should still be able to spray them, shouldn't I? Come on. Let me spray them. Fertilize, not yet. Once it flies over, we'll get fertilizer on those 3. I think. I'm losing track of where I am. Let me go to day 4. Fertilized, fertilized, fertilized. This is Farm Management 101. And I gotta fertilize these too. Fly over. And fly over. Hey Badzilla, how's it going out there? That's about how deep it is when you plow? That's good to know. I have no idea. I'm surrounded by farms, but I've never worked on one. Oh, check it out. There goes the flyover. He's going right down to the field. That's pretty cool. They travel across the whole map. So, all of those are fertilized, and if I need to get some antifungal protection or anything, which I'll have to keep checking, I will hire flyovers. That's the way. Let's get them seeded. I'm not sure. What do we have? We have wheat, barley, canola, peas, soybeans. What is a lupine? I have no idea. Grass, potatoes, beets. I am going to probably do corn the first season on all these, just so I can get some chaff. You know, so we'll commission the sowing of corn on... It's only $222. I know. I'm probably using up all the profits by hiring someone to do all this work. But I'm really doing it because I want the darn chaff, that's all. I have the money. My animals are going to make it for me. Farm Management 101. And then skip a day and get the last field in. Now we should say that it's sowed 100% maize. Yep, all of those are good. Let's take a hop down and check out my fields that are ready to grow. See that? All that work done and I didn't have to lift a finger. That's the way I like it. So yeah, you could play this completely farm management style. I used quite a bit of money in the process, and I will do it, but for this purpose I'm trying to show you guys a few more things. I already bought all the silos. I have every silo type at least on they're all on the low level, but I did buy all the silos because I had these greenhouses make so much money. All right, now it's time because those 5 are seeded. I'm gonna start advancing time, and I gotta hop around to things. I know what those are gonna do. It's gonna be a while before they're ready, but I gotta bring my tractor up to. I have no idea what's gonna happen. This I gotta start checking into June, probably July. Corn, July, sometime in July it should be ready. But the worst thing you could do is fast forward past when something's ready. Hey there, how you doing there, Albin? 1983. I'm glad you could join us. Doing a little farm expert, farm management style. I'm having everybody do the hired work. We're gonna make some money though. Watch how we should probably use the rest on animals. Those chickens are making me a fortune. I should probably make sure they still have food though. They did go all winter. Let me drive up here to me farm where I can keep an eye on me bushes, and I should be able to harvest some berries, I hope, in the coming year or soon enough. They're looking pretty snazzy. They're starting to fill the fields up now. What berries are here? Those are my gooseberries. Gooseberry bushes. Alright. Are we still fertilized 100% here? Yes. Alright. So, we're going to fast forward to end of April. And we made some money. No gooseberries ready. I'm sure we got to go at least till June in the season before anything has a chance of being ready. So let's go to wait to the next day month. And you can actually check from here. You don't have to bounce around, but you will miss some things, like if the grass needs mowing, which I don't think I'm going to mow until I get until I get my harvest off of these things, because it takes away the fertilizer. So raspberries are still fertilized. When in the old version, when the fertilization dropped is when your field was ready. So these are all being fertilized. I think we're at least good to go another into June, and then we'll have to check them out. Gooseberry bushes. And where the heck are my other bushes? Who knows? Let's keep going. Yep, $17.99 for the game on Steam. So where you don't do work and you hire workers, you kind of save yourself some work. We still don't have any gooseberries, but where the heck is I can't even remember where all my, I think, oh, it's over, is it over here? Out this way? There it is. There's the other field. We can watch our trees get a little bit bigger by the month. And that one over here should be my blueberries. I'm guessing we're going to start seeing something to harvest coming up here in July. And I'll have to go down and check the greenhouses in July too. Actually, no, greenhouses might be ready in June. They were, oh boy, let's go down there. Let's keep a good eye on those greenhouses. Which tractor? This one. So if you're fast forwarding your time, you have to really keep an eye out. These are peppers and they are still ripening. So, but look at the graphics on the peppers. I mean, those things are pretty darn awesome. I'll give them credit on the graphics for the greenhouse plants. They look really good, and the way it's situated on the rail, you really don't see any square edges. They look like peppers hanging there. I like it. Time to start watching the clock though, because you go too far past ripe, you're going to have an issue. Ripening, we're okay. Peppers take a while. It tells you how many days. We're at 68. We have to get them before 90 days or we're going to have no way to get a second harvest out of them. I'm going to start June 12th. Still no ready peppers. Every now and then you just got to check your other stuff. Make sure fertilizer is still on them. If it is, then they haven't harvested. Aren't ready yet. Albin 1983, thank you for the host. And we're going to continue our quest to move up a few more days. We'll go to the 15th. Please be ripe soon. How many days we got? 75. We're still okay. If it does, the latest first harvest, I never planted these first harvests though. So we should be okay, but we're getting to the point where we're in the middle of June. Any other plant would be done by June 20th. And peppers just take longer. So there are 78 days and still waiting for them to ripen. Everything else is still looking good. So continue on. I'm just doing a few days at a time, 'cause you never know when if you go too many days at a time, you could go past. I usually do about a week at a time. We'll jump a week, but that's getting so late, and I'm trying to catch the peppers as early as possible because I'm gonna gotta squeeze in another growth. And I don't know if we'll be able to do it. If we get past the end of this month, it's gonna be really tough to get another season of stuff in. And we're almost at the end. 28th. 88 days of peppers. No, don't bring me to July. You think, yeah, the cornfields I don't think are gonna be ready until, yeah, they're still. Oh, we've got weeds though. Insects, weeds. Oh man, I gotta spray those suckers. Thank you. I keep forgetting they added all those into this. Let's jump up to the main farm here and get some flyovers. I got too many weeds. Those are gonna look nasty. Employees. Spraying herbicides. We're not going to make a profit out of these. Wow. That's the herbicides, insecticides. At least you could do these in multiple at a time. It doesn't have a limit to how much other than your wallet. And fungicide. I probably should have done this a little sooner, huh? We'll see if we can salvage the fields. Now, how many planes are they going to send? I hope they don't send a single plane for each of those steps. There goes one. There's another. Look at all the planes. Holy moly, it's World War III. Wow, that's pretty wild. Oh, all right. Oh, that was pretty funny. Let me check something here. I can't see for some reason who just followed me. I gotta scroll. It is CLTC, I think it is. My eyes are so bad. I gotta use this one here that's bigger, and it's not working. Oh well. Thank you for the follow, anyhow, if you know I can't read. And thank you for joining us for World War III of planes. Let's check our fields now. How are we doing here? Protection against insects, but there's 74% insects. When does that go away? I want... Oh no, I might have waited too long. I might have. But we'll find out. What do we have going on up here? Let's see. How are the rest of the things looking? How are the orchards? They're okay. Let's get back down to the greenhouses too. Now that I'm afraid to look at my fields down there. I hope I didn't ruin them. But hey, it's a learning experience. Back to the calendar. To the 30th? Oh no. Peppers? Why are you taking... it might be just one planting this year. We shall see. Maybe the first of the month they'll all come due. That happens a lot. The rollover of the month. Yeah, how do you buy fields on PV Rivers and improve your buyer rating? You buy the fields down by what the heck is that place? It's down by the waterfront. There's a building. It's a real estate office. It's near the lighthouse. You'll see a little thing. You got to go up to it between the hours of 8 a.m. and 5 p.m., I believe. And you put in a purchase request. Doesn't mean you'll get the field, but then you wait a while, and then if the owner is willing to sell, you will get the field. Oh yeah, the insects are going down, the weeds are going down. That's good. As far as you're improving your rating, you improve your rating by doing contracts and buying stuff, and yeah, best way, start doing tree contracts and finishing them, and you'll be going up quick. But everything you buy, anytime you get a field, your rating goes up. Just working the fields, your rating goes up. Buying animals, your rating goes up. Tons of different things. Shouldn't have any problem getting the rating up. Let's get the day. Well, the corn's supposed to be knee-high by the 4th of July. But the peppers... the peppers aren't going to be red. Yeah, it's going way too late to try to get something else. And that's what you got to experiment with. is it's a long pepper season this time. I've never had it go this long. 95 days. I need more than that. Anything ready? Currants or anything? Apples? No, they're not going to be ready. Gooseberries aren't ready. Raspberries. Where's my other field? It's underneath the currants. Gooseberries. Raspberries. None of those are ready. So we're gonna go a little bit further. 5 more days. Whoa, yay, peppers are ready. Finally. See, that's a red pepper. Ready to go. Let's see what else, if anything else came ready. I don't feel like getting into the pepper harvesting tonight, but I'm actually gonna call it pretty soon. I'm gonna jump up there and just take a look. We'll take a look at everything, make sure it's all going well. Make sure we're not missing any details. There's definitely no berries on the gooseberry plants. They might even take another year. I don't know. I have never played this with those before. The plums are getting there, but they got a ways to go. And then we've got our blueberries aren't producing yet, and they got a bug in them. The rows aren't. I wonder if I walk. They'll. Hopefully it fixes itself when I log out and back in. But there are definitely no blueberries yet either. So it's back to harvesting the darn greenhouses. I'm gonna check my. Let's go down. I should park something down there, but I'll take a ride. I want to just go check the corn and see what it looks like. See how bad it looks. I hope the insecticides. I hope I'm heading the right way. First left. I hope the insecticides and everything takes care of all the issues down there. Is it first left is right here? Is that really so? Oh, by the way, one of the things I noticed that's kind of funny. That can't be the turn I was supposed to take. No, it isn't. You see the signs that I knocked down? In Giants, if you knock down a sign, it stands it back up when you restart, save and restart. Well, in here, I've noticed that if I knock something down, it pretty much stays where I left it the next time I restart the game. So you can have a street sign collection in your house if you can push them all up there. Is this the left? Yeah, this is where I want to go. So yeah, you knock the signs down, they stay down forever, I think, until you're done with the save game, because I haven't seen any get put back up yet. Yep. So I'm going to leave Mr. McCormick down here so I can monitor these fields a little bit better. My weed infested and insect infested and yes, you can do all that spraying manually. See, doesn't look too bad. We've got some corn growing. It's still got a little ways to go. But yeah, I'm gonna have to get a corn harvester. Or I could hire a worker to do that too, but I don't know what happens. Does he put it in your silo? He probably puts it in your silo. So cornfields are looking good. I think that's corn. Doesn't look like corn, but it's looking good. Oh yeah. There's corn there. It's weird corn. Yeah, I think that the weed's dropping. It's looking better. They're down to 56% now. Maybe by the time the season is done. So yeah, this stuff you really gotta follow a little bit closer than I did. This field's actually down to 23% weeds and 14% insects. So this game, that's what's kind of cool about this. You don't pay attention and you just do what I do and fast forward, you're gonna kind of run into some issues, and they're never good. And I don't think I can this time. I will try planting cucumbers when I'm done because I may get them. What do we got left? 21 days, and we might get them under the belt when I finish harvesting these. If I plant them on this July 10th, they have to be done by August, September 3rd. So we have all the rest of July, all of August, and all of September. It would be 80 days. It's going to be close. It'll be a hit or miss. It depends if tomatoes this year take 70 some odd days or go the full 80. But back to, notice how good I'm getting at driving this sucker in here, though. Not bad, huh? Yeah, you probably do have to have two. A way to empty those combines out. I'll probably help them out. If I can't afford a combine after I sell all the peppers, then I will jump on myself and at least buy the trailer to offload the hired worker. Can do that. But I'm going to still try to plant cucumbers. So if I lose, I'll lose. You got to look at it, risk versus reward. It'll cost me maybe a $2,000-3,000 for the seeds for the cucumbers, but if I hit it and get a whole full cucumber harvest in, I'm gonna make 200,000 to 300,000. So you just go for it. So this is back to. I'm not gonna do all this all night, but I figured, seeing as I didn't show you guys, some of you just arriving didn't see the harvesting, I'd go down a few rows. Maybe we'll do the first greenhouse, and then we'll call it an evening. I wasn't even going to stream tonight, but I figured, I want to play. You guys might be interested in knowing. I'll probably come on tomorrow if they do the update and just let you take another look. See how you miss trees? You got to get those back. That's a pain in the butt. The missing bushes. Come on. There we go. See, he finally realized, hey, wait, there's peppers still in front of me. And then they drop it out the back when they fill up a crate, and then you move down the row. Now it is a little tricky, but it's a collision thing. I think you'd get this in any game that where you're trying to squeeze in a piece of machinery down an aisle. They just need to make the smaller one work better so you don't run into this. They could have made maybe the machine picker a little narrower, but I can understand all the issues that come along. Hey DC, how's it going? And Weldehart's out there. How you doing, Weldehart? So this is Farm Expert. Yeah, like I said, well, I'm gonna keep an eye on it every now and then, at least till Giants comes out. Don't think I'll be doing much play. I got to get back to map making, but I'll stick around for a little longer. I want to see how they develop, and there's supposed to be an update coming tomorrow. If it comes out, I'll stream and we'll check and see if they fix any of the issues that, and just check them out. They always list what they fix, and I'm rooting for these guys. More competition in the farming software industry means that we will get better and better games that come out, and that's only good for us. And that's all we can ask for. If they all keep improving, we win in the long run. They do too, because their wallets get lined. But you know, the better the games get. Yes, they picked tomatoes, but we're doing peppers right now, red peppers. And you just have to make sure you stop and keep the guys picking. It takes a long time. Like I said, for me to get through these greenhouses, it will be it took about 2.5 hours to get through 5 greenhouses, which is about a half hour each. And that's a lot of picking, which I don't mind. See, if you're into doing long, boring, repetitive tasks like me, but watching somebody do it for 2.5 hours, that might be a different story. And see that? Amaki's already tired of it. So good night, Amaki. We'll catch you later. I'm out of here very soon as well, so you're not going to miss much more than more picking. Maybe a little more chatting, but we'll start calling people names as soon as you leave. No. It's But this is where the money is in this game. I think it might be overdone. You can make so much, but it is a lot of work. And I'm sure the orchards are going to be great too, but they're not ready yet. 5 years. That's why I planted the orchards in the first year, because 5 years for those trees to be 5 seasons. We just starting. What are we in season 3 now? Uh, but we should have some good cash from all the orchard stuff. Work fascinates you. You can watch it for hours. Well, that's good. Yeah, it's easier to watch somebody else do it than do it yourself. Come on, pick those. Whoa, this guy's falling asleep. Sometimes they fall asleep on the job. There you go. You gotta kick them, but you don't want to leave any red stuff behind. So I have a pattern that I found works pretty easy. You go all the way to one side, like I did here, and then we can turn with lots of room at the end of the greenhouses. And trust me, this tractor is the easiest thing I've found to do this with. And look at, you can whip them right into shape down the next aisle on the far side. I wonder which one of these guys is Peter Piper. Oh, these are. Can you pick a pickled pepper? It really isn't pickled until I must forget it until after it's picked. Or can you actually grow a pickled pepper? I don't think you can. Come on. See, that's the bouncing. I mean, it's a collision issue, but what are you going to do? Take the collision off the vehicles and stuff? If anybody else tried to squeeze this piece of equipment down that tight row, they'd have the same problems, you know? It's not too bad. You can't pick a peck of pickled peppers. You gotta pickle them after your peck is picked. But yeah, I love it. I love it. They drop the little things behind. Look, I already got 3 more case of peppers. 3 more bushels or whatever they're called. Got to keep their hands busy. Oh, that was a big one. Yes, that can happen. But what's cool about using this tractor is that it stays on the ground, whereas the little yellow thing would be over in aisle 3. So yeah, it's weird. I don't even know what I hit sometimes. But I don't know how they could remedy something like that, what do you do? Take the collision off the side rails? You still got a tight space to fit in. Maybe some specialized equipment that is on rollers. See, it just happens. No matter how straight you try to drive it, it's going to jump around a little bit. Pepper cleanup. Oh yeah. We'll have peppers to clean up on aisles 1 through 5. Keep going, guys. No time to waste. Come on. Get out of the bushes. Bad Touch is in the house. Hey, how you doing? All these late nighters, man. I'm not here by this time. Most of the time, it's midnight, and I'm not even playing Farm Sim, and we've got 51 people watching me do this game. That's pretty cool. Just wanted to show you guys a little bit. Like I said, I've actually can enjoy some of this. For 20 bucks, I've got my money's worth already. 17.99. Because this is like the 10th time I'm doing the greenhouse. No, not 10th, but... It has potential. Yeah, they need to work some things out. But it's a different gameplay. And I don't know about you guys, but even Farming Sim, we need those updates every 2 years, because by the time you play the game for 2 years straight, you're looking for something else to do. Who needs... Sleep is overrated. Who needs sleep? Just get more caffeine, you'll be fine. So when does field status for Farm Expert come out? I don't know how the modding's going to work. That's key. If the communities embrace the modding on these other games that come out too, that's another big thing. Keep on picking. 3 a.m. Central Time. What time is it now? 10 over there? You. Hey, you. You missed your plant. Pick those tomatoes. Thank you. I guess if you park them in front of them, it works easier. It is mixed. It's very mixed. It's two different schools of people, I guess. And I guess I was... it's not perfect, and it has a lot. But does it offer different gameplay? And does it have even more potential? I still would say if you're up in the air about it, then hold off until we see what the patches fix. And I'll keep you updated when the patches... There's supposed to be another one tomorrow. Because all in all, though... There's a ton of potential here, and like Big Daddy said, I spent $20 on worse things in my life. That's not exactly what he said, but... And if I feel like I'm supporting them so they can still make better and better things. Maybe I'm a fool. That's probably am. But for them to have any chance to compete, they're going to need a bigger budget, and the only way they're going to get it is if people buy their games. So if you have hope or see something that's decent and you can get some enjoyment out of it, then give them the $20 so they keep working harder to bring out the next version. Yep, that's the way I look at it. I think there's enough different gameplay to keep me busy for a little while here. Like I said, I've been playing it now since it came out, a little bit every day. and it offers a different style of farming. And I'll get more into the field work next time around, but I didn't want to get into plowing. I'm gonna try to harvest the fields if I get enough money from the greenhouses this season. Get a combine down there and a trailer to offload. But meanwhile, you've got the orchards. I can't wait till they're ready. I want to try some of that new orchard equipment, so I got to show you guys that when the orchards are actually ready. Hopefully we get something next season. Looks like the blueberries and gooseberries and all the berries might be ready. And yeah, that was just Mumble kicking me out because I'm not talking to anybody. Yeah, it's that lull. So if you're looking for something different to do before Farm Sim comes out, I also like to buy them because I try to think this is a pretty cool idea. The way greenhouses are done, and my mind keeps me racing and up all night saying, how can we implement this in Farm Simulator? And I actually kind of figured out a way that it sort of can be done if with the new Farming Sim 17, there's a lot of ifs, but if Farming Sim 17 pick object picking up objects by hand and loading trailers can be done, I know you'll be able to pick up objects, but we don't have a clue on how that whole system works. Is it by the mass of the object? Does it have to be a special collision mask on those objects? Who knows? But we might be able to create crates like this and then bring them into the greenhouses to fill them up by dropping them into triggers and carry them back out and load them on a trailer. I don't know. It'd be kind of cool to see some new features like this into the game. Yeah, $20 is half the price of Farm Sim. So, if you get half a game out of it, it's just something to do. I wouldn't wait too long if you're going to buy it because then Farm Sim will be out and you won't use it anymore. But you got to give it a chance. This is one of those games that if I see so many people, and especially a lot of the mixed reviews, look at them. They haven't played it for 20 minutes, and your first impressions of the game might, with the bouncing vehicles and stuff, might be a little bit hard to get past that first 20 minutes. You got to get into doing the stuff like this, and get your equipment and learn what there is to do in the game, and then it can suck you right in. In FS17, you're going to have to plow every third harvest, is my understanding. Every third time you do the fields... Hey, stop that. In FS17, you will need to replow them. But it's also one of those features that can be toggled on or off. So you'll have to choose. Will you play that way, or will you play the way everybody else does? So much for your ad. $17.99. You can own it today. But tomorrow there's a patch comes out. People might start rewriting their reviews too if they fix the major issues, which are the bounciness of tractors. I think that's the biggest one that turns people off right when they get it. Because there's a lot to be liked. I've thought about this, and people have wanted this dynamic terrain for a long time, and that's what a lot of people find promising about the game. And I just have a feeling that if it makes it harder to do your fields. Everybody wants everything to be so easy these days that even though people say they want it, I think it turns people off when they have to actually work their fields and do it, and you get stuck in those ruts and everything. They're not against having to plow unless you play on map sizes like Pleasant Valley. Yeah, that's a big map. That's definitely gonna take some extra work. Those maps really are designed for multiple players anyway, and like I always said, if you play them single player, you're just a little bit more crazy than most people. But no, I like playing them single player. I like a map to last me a long, long time. That's what I think is cool about it. You're not done with it in a week and looking for the next map out there. It takes you some time. You get some time invested. If I had my way, I'd have one map that I could play from the beginning to the end and just keep stockpiling my cash. You play it alone because you don't have friends? Let me tell you. Sometimes friends require responsibility. So the less friends you have, the easier it is sometimes. That's terrible. You know, they'll be calling you. Can you do this for me? Can there's good and bad. Yeah, I hear you. At this point, you might as well wait. You got to be out in the forums. When I first put up a new map or we get one of those maps converted, people will be starting to play, and that's when you get in, and we've got some good. I know Viper was looking for people at times. I got to keep my group relatively closed because we're always developing and changing stuff. If I need anybody else, I'll let people know, but right now, they're not even playing. We don't even have the Farm Sim server running, I don't think. It's shut down because we're all waiting. No sense of putting up my map that I'm working on now because until we get 17 out, and then we'll start getting it up there, and once it's converted, see what we can do. Try some new crop types. I wanted to also. I've been looking at the files in this game. The files are done differently, but there's some graphic files for the crop textures. I think Farm Sim is still better on most of the regular crops like wheat and barley that are in here, but they could technically be reformatted and put into the other games as well. I don't think. Oh, like that lupine. I wonder what the heck that stuff is. I have no idea. Come on. Pick that plant. Sometimes you gotta wake these guys up. There he goes. Oh, there was 4, I think. I just posted another one of the new videos up. I did a before I started here on YouTube. The last one, I think that it was 4 episodes on the new map stuff, and there will be lots more coming for sure. But it's starting to come along. I haven't done anything since the last video. We're gonna get back into that pretty soon. We'll start broadcasting the work on that map. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. I think I'm going to start putting fields in because I don't think any of the field definitions, and we'll start getting into the more technical stuff. All I think that's going to happen with the new crops is possibly new additions to the material holders from what the talks I've heard. If you don't know, there's material holders built into the map that allow all the vehicles to show the crops that I put in. And I think that there's going to be new material holders for the combine headers. It looks like that'll be included as well. This is the only tough turn, the last one. You just gotta wiggle it a little bit. Get in that aisle and pick that last row. There you go, not too hard. So combine headers are gonna do it. I think I could go ahead and start looking at the new crops and show you guys how to do some more of the adding a new crop type into the map. We may have to make changes, but I'm gonna start decorating up the maps a little bit and get them working and see how things flow. You need a simple fix for your PV Rivers map. Yeah, when your upload speed is a little slow. That is the biggest reason why I haven't done the 16x map either. But it's because of the size of it and the upload. Most servers couldn't play a 16x. So back to that discussion that we started earlier. I don't know if I ever finished. I'm planning on seeing if I can convert PV Rivers and PV15 version 2 to FS17 without, and as soon as I can, we'll try to get those converted over while I'm finishing up this current map. The goal this time is to get that done, so maybe we'll actually have a few maps. They'll probably have to have several changes done, especially to bring the new train system in that you can drive and stuff like that. So it's not going to be easy. It's not simple click and it's done, and I want to get the new animal systems and all that stuff into each of them if we can convert them over. And we don't know how the scripts are going to work, but maybe down the road we'll be able to get it all back to normal, but we'll get what works in there for now and then get those up, continue working on the new FS17 map, and by the time the new map is done, I want to jump into the single map for the mod contest. It'll be a lot easier. Single size will be a lot easier to add more detail and get a good entry into the mod contest for that year. That's the plan if I do get into the contest. But like I said, I try not to look too far in advance. Those are things I'd like to do, but everything always changes subject to how the game works. You know, and what comes out and when mods come out and what we want to put into the maps, and it can all change. Can you delete your folders and reinstall them without starting the game over? Which folders are you talking about? And why would you have to? Is there something going on? That is the big questions. I mean, you can't delete your save game, you'd lose it. I'm wondering what folders you actually want to delete. You can delete your mod folder switcher indexes and remake them if that's what you're talking about. I have no idea. Fill me in. I'll try to answer you. Would there be any way to build like a competition into a map so on PV Rivers you have 4 teams fighting over land and factories? I wish. Right now, not without expert modder to create something. It would be cool. In order to do that, you'd have to have someone come up with a mod that when basically it would be I don't even think, I think Giants Engine would have to have some things done as well. I just don't see how you could mark something that is owned by just one player and keep other people off of it, especially seeing as like factories are mods themselves. So the script writer of the Russian factory script would have to add an ability. Then you have to have it'd be very, very complicated the way things stand. Not saying nobody could do it. Anything's possible with the right coding, but in the right amount of time, but it would be cool if someone would come out with something like that. You can kind of do it. Whoa, nobody saw that one, right? This occasionally happens, and it's real bad when it does. I'm on my last couple tomatoes. Come on. Get in there. Nice recovery. Alright, so we only have a couple tomatoes left, and all of a sudden my trailer goes all wonky on me. Let's see if I can get the last couple plants. Can we go down an aisle that... oh yeah, there we can go down that aisle. It's free and clear. You guys didn't see that. That's it. That's the only few plants I have left in this greenhouse. So once they pick those, we head for the door. I was going to turn around and go down this aisle anyway. Keep on picking, buddy. I see you got a couple more left on the vine. Nope, next vine. Try that one. Now, how are all... You broke the auto feeder and a few other issues I had since I had a vehicle launch. The auto feeder has had issues that sometimes just restarting the game will bring it up. But I don't know. There was another issue with the auto feeder. I can't remember what it was. It didn't break, but it was something that caused it to stop working that we know about, and maybe somebody else can remember what it was. How are the bins collected in here? You're gonna see. I'll show you in a minute. You by hand. So I'm not gonna collect them. I'm not gonna get into greenhouse number 2 right now, but I will do that later. Basically, there's another vehicle. Oh, it's down at the store, and the trailer. You just pick up the bins, carry them out, stick them on a trailer. But you can pick these up and drop them anywhere. You can actually pick them up and drop them out on the ground, and then wait for the truck to come by and load them up. But you do have to load them on by hand, which I think is pretty awesome. You can move them around a little bit. So there's our peppers. And once they're all done, we'll be able to run down the aisles like this and plant some new plants in. That's part 2 of the process. I'm going to try to get cucumbers to grow for the next season, but chances are they might not make it because peppers took so long to come in. But peppers are worth the most, so I figured I'd try to get them in. And I might not be able to get all the way down the aisles. Jump. There we go. So we're prepping up for cucumber planting. Second harvest will delete itself. These will delete at the end of the season when it rolls over to April, so you don't have to remove them manually. But if you want to try to get 2 harvests in a year, you have to go and right click. That's all. Remove 2 seedlings every right click. Takes them out. You can actually do this too while you're picking up the crates, which is what I normally do. Is I'll walk down Alright, we're going to do cucumbers, so I'm going to run and purchase my cucumbers. I want to get them planted. So first we go to the store and purchase 1,350 cucumber seeds. We had 201,000. Let's see how much money it's going to cost. Nine. So, what? 2,000, little maybe a little more, a little less, 2,000. And if I lose $2,000 because these don't ripen in time, then oh well. But I'm gonna plant them anyway and let them start growing. You can do it in whatever order you want. I'm just mixing things up because I'm going to bed pretty soon. And what I was going to show you, and I'm not even doing it, is I very often, when I'm playing, will like have a crate and I'll run it to the door as I'm planning, so you can do both things at the same time. I can carry this crate right out to the front of the building while I'm planting. Dual duty. Not that I need to, but you have that option. Especially when you're down here and you got one in the way in the back. I'll speed it up when I actually bring the wagon around by carrying some of these to the front. It is work. You have some work to do. It's farming. It's not like Farm Sim. You have some jobs. Not everything's done for you. So that alone turns off some people, thus the mixed reviews. You got to get your hands dirty in this game. Pick up things, move them around. Missed two. I've got 268 of 270 cucumbers planted. So, where did I miss 2 cucumber plants? That's the tough part when you go fast like I do. I'll probably end up. Where did I miss them? Anybody see missing cucumber plants? There's 2 of them missing somewhere. I can't see any. It's gonna throw off my harvest numbers. Oh, there's one. I don't see the other one. It's always one on the end. All these ends look good. Oh, there it is right there. There we go. Alright, so that one's ready and planted. I just gotta pick up all my crates and load up that trailer eventually. Stick some outside. Can't put them on top of each other, but yeah. Anyhow, guys, I think... Is this a mod? No, this is actually Farming Expert 2017, not Farm Sim. And this is built into the game, Farm Expert. So, if you like this sort of thing, what I'm showing you guys the last few days, then go ahead, give it a try. Support these guys so they keep bringing us better and new content, and maybe they'll catch up to Farming Sim and surprise us, you know. But they do have a lot of things in here. Graphics they look decent. It's a different style, but it's improving. The ground has some funky, weird texture to it, but I think a lot of that has to do with it being the dynamic terrain now, too. Overall, the map styles are pretty interesting, you know? I like them. It's a break from the Farm Sim stuff for a little bit until they come out with something new. I wish we could chop down the trees. And some of these buildings, again, there's a lot of decorative items like the dumpsters and stuff that you can actually move around. See? If you can move the garbage. I wish you could pick up the garbage cans and deliver them. You see I'm moving them around a little bit? So if you push them around enough, you can, and they stay there. That's what's weird. When you reload the game, this garbage can will be right out here where I pushed it to. Wherever I put it. So now it'll stay there all the time. If I can clear that out, I'd park vehicles in there. This is the little guy that's meant to be for the greenhouse pulling that thing. And this is a sprayer that doesn't do anything, but you can see just how this thing bounces around outside. It's crazy. It's hard to control. That's why I use the big tractor. I mean, they need to work on some of the physics on this thing before you can use this in the greenhouses. I can't even get it in the greenhouse. It just bounces around too much. And the brake and gas are just like all on, you know. I can't even get to the door. Here, let's try this greenhouse. So you could see why I'm using a tractor inside. Because driving this down the road, and this actually is a sprayer that doesn't do anything, but I can turn it on and spray my greenhouse tomatoes. Look at this thing. You thought that last one was bad. And look, it's so much smaller, but the physics on it just cause it to go crazy. So nobody uses it. Nobody that I know tries. And I don't think the spraying does a darn bit of anything for this, even though they're already done. When you're growing the tomatoes, there's no indicators when I spray on the plants at all, and it should when you walk up to it say, if just like the fields do, maybe all they have is the current phase, the days it took to grow, and the number of fruits. But what is cool is the number of fruits: high, medium, high. You can very little. It actually shows when there's very little to pick. There are some plants that literally get none. It's very randomized. Sometimes you have good seasons, and sometimes you have bad. Very small number of fruits, very small. That one plant right there has nothing on it, and it's ready for harvest. Just about nothing on it. You can see there's no red spots. So it's random. I wish we could very small on that end one too. You see how there's just no red on there? No. I wish that we could influence those by using the different insecticides and herbicides or whatever and fertilizers, but we currently can't in the greenhouses. Maybe in the future. Oh, this looks like it's actually not for everybody, but it can. The game has some good points to it. It's not a horrible game. If they think this is a horrible game, I can point you to some horrible games. There's a lot of good in here. It just needs a little tweaking. There's a lot of new concepts, and it's a farming game. If you don't like farming games, yeah, then it's going to be a horrible game. You were hoping to try Cattle and Crops, but they are so silent on when it's coming out. You gave up. I guarantee you Cattle and Crops is going to take their time, wait to see what Giant says, and try to outdo them. They're going to... That looks like it's very, very promising. So they're going to let them take their time. Let them make something really good. This was rushed out, so yeah, it needs some TLC. They're working on it. But I think that they needed to, in the state this game is in, they needed to get out before Farming Sim to get some sales, to be honest with you. Because it's not going to compare to Farming Sim. You can't compare it. But does it offer enough different gameplay to make it worth the $17.99? I've got my money's worth out of it already. Farm Sim is its own thing, and supporting the competition isn't always a bad idea. If you want to see a better Farm Sim game, I mean, really, if you think about it, think about what the modders are able to do with that game and the functions the modders have come up with. I'm not saying that the game isn't great and that they don't give us something to pay our next $40 for. They do, and maybe this year, I mean, they give you the forestry. That was the big focus, but if there's more competition in the field, a lot more of that money that lines their pockets is going to have to go into the development and keeping their players happy and competing to outdo the other guy. It's only going to make that farming game much better. So I'm all for supporting floating vehicles in a farming game. No. Uh, I'm all for supporting the little guys and help them to create some pretty cool stuff. You'll see a lot more effort and work put in from the other companies that have to compete with giants. They just don't have the budget usually. All right, folks. Thanks for joining. I'm going to be out of here. If there's an update tomorrow on this game with some fixes, I'll come back and show you those tomorrow night. If not, we'll be back Tuesday with some map making stuff, I believe. So have a good night, and we'll catch you all later.